be in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is back in the producers portion of the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. Jesse, how would you say things went in my absence for you personally?
I understand why you get irritated with old T. He gets a little irascible sometimes when you're strumming up conversation every day. I like being back here behind the glass. This is a good spot to be.
Well, that makes two of us, so that's good.
It's not for the faint of heart. And, of course, the straw that stirs this drink. He doesn't judge. He just has an opinion. He is the Packers Hall of Famer. He's Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm happy you're back. I enjoyed doing the shows with Jesse. We had different producers at different days. I thought all brought different strengths. But we need you back. We're glad that you're here, Jason. We're glad that you took a break from your break to come back to your job, which we're excited about.
Well, so let us begin there, because I do need your help.
Well, first off, I'm real curious what Jesse... So I love how you guys try to paint me like I'm some incredibly difficult cat to deal with. Like, what are you talking about, Jesse? Like, before Jason gets into it, what did I do over the course of the last 10 days that made your life difficult? I'm generally curious.
Yesterday morning, you said there was something off air that you said, I'm never doing this again. And it was a very declarative statement. And I don't want to throw your business because I don't think it's even true. I think you're going to do it again. But
I don't want to do it again. No, I told Jesse I'm sick of having to book guests. Like, I'd like Jesse to book the guests is what I told him. And because Orlovsky, Monday we booked him. He got busy, and it's just like it's a wear on me. I was like, I don't want to do it anymore. So Jesse, who, by the way, he is the producer of the show. Am I right?
No,
I am.
And I know it's work. And I'm trying to figure out, and I don't want to turn this into a referendum on Jesse. Not today, anyways. That is what I said. And what did I do? I ended up continuing to work and grind, and we got Orlovsky on,
did
and we
great.
did it. Blah, blah, blah.
Very compelling content.
Yeah, it is. I don't like doing it. I don't like asking people. So that is what. And if that's what it is, Jesse, I don't have any problem with it. I don't have any problem with your criticism.
Was Orlovsky difficult to get on?
No. Listen, man, I understand his schedule. I give him two options. One didn't quite work. And then yesterday, in fairness, he was in great communication with me about what was going on. Mm-hmm. But it is just, I'm sitting here trying to do a show, and I'm trying to book, and I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get podcasts downloaded. I don't know what the hell's going on. We missed you. We need you back, and I'm glad you're here. That's
everyone's
the overarching
back where they
theme
belong.
is what I learned.
Yep.
We need Jason back. I don't think you can take 2 weeks off like I can. I don't think you can do that. So I digress. Here you go.
3-day max.
And if Jesse is that stressed out about that, then we have much bigger problems. But that's a whole other story for another day. So.
Okay, well, then I will limit my time away from the show because you accurately depicted it as not a vacation before training camp starts to 3 days. 3 days only. And maybe you can take those days off, too, and we can kind of plan that together. And it could be Jesse and Alex Gravatt or Jesse and Alex Strofe. Only Alex's would be available to do the show with him. Here's why I need your help.
Okay.
Because you are a man of opinion, as you said, not judgment, but of opinion. And you had the opinion that my vacation, air quotes, was not a vacation. And if you recall, on Monday when I joined this show and 3 other shows while I was not supposed to be working, because the Packers chose their new president, who was exactly who we said would be the president, you said that I wasn't really on vacation. I was just taking days off. And you're right. I need to do a better job of doing something other than just like menial tasks and chores and following my children around to their various activities. You're great about it. You go to France. You go to Machu Picchu. You go to Italy. I went to Oshkosh.
Yeah.
And so, but I feel refreshed. I needed a little bit of a break. There were a lot of things on my list I had to get done. I didn't get all of them done, but I got some of them done. But I'm looking, and Jordan loves getting engaged in Tuscany, and we know about all your trips. Rob Domofsky went overseas with his son's basketball team. And I'm going to Oshkosh and sitting at Caribou Coffee talking to you guys and writing about ed policy. Am I doing this wrong? Or are you just, am I just lame, is I guess the real question.
No, I don't think. I mean, listen, man, you got to do what makes you happy. And you spending every waking minute with your kids is what makes you happy. Now, do I worry a little bit about that when your kids get older? Yeah, I think probably some people would. You don't. That's okay. So, no, I don't understand why you wouldn't want to take a little break, but not everybody likes vacationing. Travel's a pain in the butt. Trying to figure out planes, and it's expensive. So I totally, I love traveling, but I do most of my traveling with my kids and with my family.
Right.
So I think it's tit for tat. I don't understand, just sitting in a gym in Oshkosh. Like, I don't get that, but that's what you like. And for you to just even get out of your house, I think that's a win.
That's progress.
Not everybody wants to take a train ride or get on a plane, and I totally get that. You have kind of taken it since COVID. You've been a little bit, like, way over the top, in my opinion, but you did get out of your basement. And I think most of us that listen to this show and pay attention, I think we can look at that as a big win for you and for your crew.
I am. We do have some trips that we're working on planning, so I will do a better job. But I'm inspired by.
What do you got planned? What do you got planned?
Well, we're gonna try and get to Oregon.
Going to Brazil?
No, not. I don't see myself, Matt in West Bend. I bet the Power Wash playset looks good though. The playset is gone. Sold it on Facebook Marketplace after I sold all those hangers. Got a few nice items on there still, by the way.
Okay.
But the swing
what else
set
are you
is
selling? What do we got on Facebook?
So I sold yesterday a vintage washer dryer by Little Tykes, which I sold for $75.
Like super old and like broke.
It's not broke. It was in very good condition actually, but it was
Vintage.
like Paula would have played with it when she was young. It's that old. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it was a success. And
how old is Paula?
Paula will be 45 in August, and I'm sure she appreciates it.
Do you say she's vintage?
That is not among the adjectives that I use to describe her. No.
Okay.
And we have a great marriage in part because I make sure I don't use those types of words. But I have sold some nice items. I did not power wash I did get a new vehicle because the 221,000 mile old 2007 Lexus SUV finally met its demise, unless I wanted to spend $4,200 to repair it. So that was very difficult. That was very emotional for me. So what do you do then?
You scrap that out, or what do they do? You trade it in, obviously, but is it for scrap, or how do they do that?
I don't know what's going to happen to it. I think they auction it off. I got to see my good friend Gordy Boucher and my good friends that are really good to me when I'm over there. Scott Foote and Mike Hansen. Not to be plugging them, but I am. And they took great care of us. We figured everything out. But I really loved, A, not having a car payment, and B, my goal was to get to 300,000 miles on it. And I fell short of that. So that was disappointing. And then I went to Sid's soccer game, and someone who drove the exact same vehicle last night parked right next to me, like rubbing it in that I had to give up on my dream vehicle that I've been driving for 17 years. So there were some downs, but there were also some ups. And I got to see the UW Oshkosh women's basketball team, my good friend Brad Fisher, who I hadn't seen in a while, and hang out with him and have lunch a couple times. So it was a good time away, but I found myself missing the show, which I didn't think was going to happen, frankly.
That's a good thing.
It also might have been I was a little concerned about how things might go because
Why?
Wait, because this is not a criticism of you. I noticed you popped up on the video screen the minute I said that. I would say this, and I'm going to say it cautiously, much as I would about Paula being vintage. You are a genius. You never know where things are headed with you. It's one of the great parts of this job. On occasion, you need a guardrail or two. And I wasn't sure that Jesse necessarily had the gravitas to keep things on track if maybe things got a little...
Wow. Jesse's getting a lot of shrapnel today. He's getting a lot of shrapnel.
No.
Everybody's back where they belong, I see. Yeah. Right down here at the bottom of the garbage chute.
That's not it at all. Let me ask you this.
What are you talking about, the bottom of the garbage chute?
Yeah, I don't know. That was that. He's working on his.
I'll say this. I had a couple of my best analogies yesterday, probably of all time.
Pretty good.
Really good analogy. Really good analogy stretch while you were gone because I wasn't getting interrupted and I could actually let my train of thought work through the entire analogy.
That must
so that
be
was
nice.
a nice little. Nice. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. No, I just didn't know if there were some times where you've been known on occasion to go a little far afield, and somebody's got to kind of reel you back in. And I just didn't know. Jesse's got a lot of skills. I just didn't know if he had that one in his toolbox. That's all. That's all I was curious about. But I'm glad I'm back. I saw lots of tweets saying how good the show was while I was gone. Some that maybe had a different opinion, but most of them had a good opinion. And so I was glad to see.
There's a retired Navy guy that loves you and does not like me.
What?
And I think he really enjoyed, or he probably didn't listen when you were gone. And that's okay. That's okay.
Well, I came back just in time because our good friend Bryan Bulaga is scheduled to appear. Uncle Homer is scheduled to appear. I also did something I had not done in a while, which was have a TV on that didn't have like Law & Order reruns on it. I saw multiple commercials with Gina Della.
Yeah.
Sleek. She's got things going on, as I've been told. That was the first time I'd seen her.
She definitely has things going on, and vintage is one way to put things. If you have a vintage home, an older home, and you need new windows, well, the way they did things a century ago is a little different than they did today. Give Pella a call. Their team of experts can customize windows and doors that will match architecture from any era. Jason, on your break, did you come up with different eras besides Cenozoic, Paleozoic? I don't know what other ones we've come up with. Middle Ages. Anything?
Yeah, Art Deco. That was an age. I always try to get that in, and you just ignore it.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's an era, but we'll go with it. But the point is, it doesn't matter what kind of home you live in. Just order today for Pella, and you get 0% interest for up to 36 months. Certain restrictions do apply. This offer ends June 30th. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
It's great to be back. We need to get ready for Bryan Bulaga.
Did you do a slip and slide? Did you guys do anything like besides sitting in a gym? Like, was there a slip and slide? Was there anything that you would deem pretty dangerous that you and your crew did?
A campfire.
No, I don't find campfires dangerous. I find campfires. I don't like the fact that the smoke always.
Smokey the Bear does if the fire risk is high. Which, by the way, there's no fire risk high right now.
A lot of rain.
Saturated beyond belief.
Yeah. No, we didn't do anything dangerous like that. Speaking though of water entertainment, I think the next item to go on Facebook Marketplace is the swimming pool. It's all boxed up in bins. So I think I'm going to list that this week. So if you're looking for a used, very large swimming pool, the girls don't want to put it up. They want their volleyball court in the backyard to stay up. So we're going to sell our pool.
I might be interested.
It's big. I'll give you a good deal on it. I'll bring it, and I'm coming to Madison for the 4th of July weekend, so I can deliver it.
I might be interested.
Okay. Oh, but now we're on to something. Now I'm really happy to be back if I can get the pool out of our garage. More with, me back on the show next.
You know what? I'm gonna have you. I got a bouncy house that I thought was crazy when we bought 15 years ago. I think I'm gonna have you sell this bouncy house too.
Well, how much of a cut can I get?
What do you usually take? I don't know what the.
I don't do a lot of. I'm not really a surrogate salesman very often. I sold a few things for Oatsy, and then I just pocketed the money.
Can I be interested in this too?
You stole from Oatsy?
I don't know if he's listening. I sold a
Well, I suppose he's collecting
bash
them big Social Security checks and everything. He probably doesn't need it.
He's rolling in the dough. Yeah, no doubt about it. All right. Well, we'll work on my to-do list of items to sell on Facebook Marketplace. And we will also talk some football and hear what Dan Orlovsky had to say yesterday when he joined our program. We'll hear that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Eagle Sports Range has an unbeatable offer on concealed carry license classes. For just $49, enroll in their 3-hour class led by expert instructors prioritizing safety. Learn laws, techniques, and mindset for responsible carrying. Stick around for an optional hour of range time with instructors included in the package. Practice under professional guidance and gain confidence. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. every day at 2525 East Layton Avenue in Cudahy. Secure your spot at eaglesportsrange.com. Eagle Sports Range, where safety meets skill.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
A Brewers Group outing is the best way to celebrate any special occasion. You can count on the Brewers to host an event your crew won't forget. Brewers account reps make your day at the ballpark a breeze. Start planning your group outing now at brewers.com/groups.
Tired of power outages disrupting your life? Make them a thing of the past by getting a Generac home standby generator from Adams Generators. Adams Generators is the largest and #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. With 24/7 emergency support, our factory-trained technicians are standing by to assist you. Visit adamspower.com/generators to make sure your power always stays on. That's adamspower.com/generators.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor. If it's a celebrate or tailgate, when you're gonna recreate upstate. If it's a holiday, birthday, any date, you can save at Discount Liquor.
It's the world's largest music festival, and you'll be there compliments of Discount Liquor. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. There is no other party like Summerfest. So get the fun started by stopping in to Discount Liquor. When you buy any one 12-pack of Terrapin Craft Beer or any one 12-pack of new Happy Thursday Spike Refresher, you will receive one free Summerfest ticket. Visit us at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee and in Barstow and Maine in downtown Waukesha.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings.
See us for your free Summerfest ticket and check out our specials at DiscountLiquorInc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Finally, warmer weather, green grass, birds chirping. Don't spend your weekend surrounded by all that junk. Get your free, no obligation, same-day estimate from Two Men and a Junk Truck. You'll restore your sanity and reclaim your space when Two Men and a Junk Truck pulls in your driveway. Visit twomenandajuncktruck.com for your free, no obligation estimate today.
Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
Cheese doodles, Mr. Nougat Bar. Oh, here we go. 4-door hatchback.
Some things are fine to buy from a vending machine, but a car's not one of them. That national online company makes it seem convenient, but it won't be so convenient if you have a problem with the vehicle you buy. And if it's after 7 days, good luck. Adam member dealers also let you search online, plus test drive the vehicle before you buy it. And they're right here to handle any issues.
What? The car's stuck. No!
Start your search at adamm.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing. Racing to the moonlight and I'm speeding. I'm headed to the stars, ready to go far. I'm start walking. Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing. Racing to the moonlight and I'm
I think Dan Orlovsky's really good. I want to be very clear about that. My issue with him, which, by the way, lots of attention with what he said on social media on our show yesterday. Yeah, that's what happens when you have a big platform on ESPN and you turn out to be really good in your analysis, is that's what people care what you say. When you're just a guy playing YouTube videos and pointing stuff out on your pencil and people still have you on the radio show, it takes a while to get that level of a platform. And now he has it, and he deserves it. And I'm glad that he comes on the show now when I'm not on, because that still irritates me. But he was very insightful again yesterday. And I am curious about something he said that I have seen on our social media channels, because I want to juxtapose it with what you were thinking as a player during the 2008 season with Rodgers. Because Aaron Rodgers had some hiccups during his first year as the starter, but he really didn't have any thereafter, right? You were there for 2009 when they realized that they needed you.
And I'm actually trying to think in 2008. Like, I don't know if there was... I mean, there was obviously growth, and there was some, I guess you could say, hiccups, but there wasn't... I don't remember there being as... And maybe it's just because I was looking at it from a different perspective and I wasn't analyzing it probably to the same degree. I don't remember there being a stretch of 6 or 7 games where there was a ton of inconsistency with Aaron.
No,
maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're not. You're not wrong. I think there were a couple of games where he had some bad decisions or poor throws, but he did not have a stretch like the stretch that Jordan Love had for the first 7 games, where there were some good moments, but a lot of inaccuracy and a lot of incomplete passes. He did not have that. But once we established that he was the starter, it was all an upward trend, right? He was great in 2009. Obviously, in 10, you guys win the Super Bowl. And then in 11, he goes and wins the first of his 4 MVPs. So here's what Dan Orlovsky said if you did not tune in yesterday for his visit with Tausch and Jesse. And, of course, you can find all of his conversation on our YouTube channels and on Wisconsin On Demand and all the podcast platforms. But here's what he said about Jordan Love.
Right now, I don't think that there's a quarterback in the NFC that I would definitively take over Jordan Love when it comes to the future, let's call it 6 to 8 year window. No, I think Jordan would be the guy. Brock would be in that conversation for me.
Yeah, so you would have no problem because obviously here in Wisconsin and Packer fans, the money that quarterbacks are getting, you see Lawrence, and it's only continuing to go up. You don't have any issues paying him top market, even though he's only played 1 season.
No, I don't have any issue with it because of the one thing, development. I've seen him develop. And, I said that, people take a lot of the things that I say and, we twist them into whatnot. The comparison for me would be this, okay? I've watched Jordan Love develop from what he was in college throughout the couple moments in his early career and then a season, and then I've seen him develop within the season. The contrast for me would be, as much as I love a player in his talent like a Kyler Murray, I haven't seen Kyler develop at a different level just yet. As much as I love and the player and the talent of a Trevor Lawrence, I haven't seen that development to a different level. And so that's why I've had a little bit of hesitation in both those situations where Jordan, albeit 1 season, I've seen the development from college and then I've seen that in-season development. So no, I would be comfortable in that.
So I guess the question that I had with that, though, because when I listened to that, I thought it was really interesting. The question I had was, did those other guys have as far to go to make their development look as significant? Because, again, Dan Orlovsky was not sitting next to me in Lambeau Field when we were watching those 2020 training camp practices during COVID. But if he watched him on film at Utah State, I'm sure he saw the inaccuracy and some of the indecisiveness that Jordan would have shown during his final year for the Aggies. So the level of like the yodeling guy that you like to talk about from Bob Barker's era of The Price is Right, the yodeling guy for the other guys he mentioned maybe were a little higher up the mountain to start, and so they didn't have as far to go to be where they're at now. Jordan Love has gone, in my opinion, a lot farther, and leads me to believe that this is now where he actually is going to stay, is at a high level. But do we get excited about his development in part because we didn't see a lot of great things early on, and he didn't have to play. We didn't see the warts that we might have seen in those games had he had to play and there wasn't an Aaron Rodgers on the roster.
Yeah, and that's where I was just going to jump in because Jesse had a great analogy yesterday about Jesse, you'll have to tell Jason it because I didn't understand it. Something about getting an A, and then he didn't like when somebody in the same class had a C, and they ended up getting an A and got more attaboys from the teacher because, well, I was doing the same A work the whole time. Mm-hmm. The bottom line is Jordan Love, nobody saw. First off, COVID. Nobody really saw kind of you saw what he did at Utah State, but all you can really base it off of is, he played one COVID game in Kansas City that I think you just completely wipe out. I think that's a fair assessment of where he was at. And now you know that he grew, and then within the season that he actually started, he ended up playing at a really high level at the end of it where it was good, it was inconsistent. He had really good flashes, but it wasn't the consistent play the first half of the year. And I think what Orlovsky was saying, and he really went into detail when he was talking about he's bouncing, he's not, grazing his feet, his footwork was real sloppy. And for him to overcome and get that and then put the ball placement where he wanted it to be and understanding that the receivers got better, the O-line got better, and Matt LaFleur, Trevor Lawrence didn't have Matt LaFleur, he had Herb. He had a bunch of guys, and it's been a mess. That stability and the fact that he could sit and learn, those all factored into how his mental approach was able to handle some of the adversity he had. He didn't cower down. He rose up. And that's why I asked Orlovsky also if he's on board with my sit-your-quarterback plan. And it's not shocking. A couple of great quarterback minds like me and Orlovsky agree, don't play guys unless you absolutely have to. I reckoned it to the Bill Walton, Lou Alcindor, don't play him as Frosh. I made it now, no Frosh play before Thanksgiving Day. That's my new little moniker. No Frosh play before Thanksgiving Day. And if you can live by that moniker, you're going to give your quarterback a much greater chance to be successful in his NFL career.
What do we want? Development. When do we want it? After Thanksgiving Day. Very catchy. No, that's a no Frosh play until
Jesse,
after
I know we got to get to Bulaga, but I cannot wait. Maybe you can describe it to Wilde, and it'll make a ton. He was flummoxed that I kept coming back at him because I said, Jesse, your grade point average is still going to be higher than the dude or gal that had a C. But the fact that she or he had a C and got to an A and the teacher was showering them with flowers, it really irritated Jesse.
Yeah, that was the point. Or, I mean, even if you don't look at grades and you did it in music, like if you come in as a naturally talented musician and someone else starts from nothing and then they develop to be much better than where they started, but they're still not as good as the good musician from the start, they get more credit for the improvement. And I'm like, well, I'm still better than that person at playing my instrument. I'm still better. I'm still getting a better grade in math class than this person. Like, it's great that they've developed, developed, but I don't think they deserve more. Like, they're not at the final level that's still as good as this.
Jesse, praise and improvement and success are not a finite resource. Just because C student guy got an A on a test, it doesn't affect your grade point average or your success or whether or not the teacher recognizes.
Good job, Jesse. You're such a great student.
Yeah,
the teacher was talking to Lenny, who was not a very good student and got better, and that irritated Jesse.
It's the expectation game that Tausch talks about. You set the expectations higher. Pressure is a privilege. That's what we learned from Billie Jean King. The expectations are for you to get good grades. So we'll talk to a guy who got good grades and then he left college early and now he's got Homer pestering him to go back to college. Bryan Bulaga is scheduled to join us next. Want to remind you, among the to-do list items I had during my time off was to see my buddy Ben Sorensen at Associated Bank, who always takes care of us. And I did, and we got all of our accounts straightened out. We had a little bit of an issue, so he took care of it because they've got the best customer service in the industry. They've got the awards to prove it. They just won another J.D. Power Award a couple of weeks ago. Check out AssociatedBank.com to find out more about that award, to find out more about early pay. You can get your pay up to 2 days early from your paycheck if you have direct deposit with Associated Bank. And always check out their Packers opportunities with Packers checking. AssociatedBank.com, where your money works for you. All right, Bryan Bulaga scheduled to appear and be with us till probably 10:22, given our history with him. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you. The big gig is back. Summerfest is going on till July 6th, and ESPN Milwaukee will be there. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman and the Homer Hour are live from Summerfest every Thursday and Friday at the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone. Stop by and say hi to your favorite 94.5 ESPN hosts and play games for prizes. It's ESPN Milwaukee at Summerfest.
You've probably heard about employee stock ownership plans before, but what separates Fifth Third Bank from others when it comes to these plans? A succession plan that benefits business owners and employees. Full and partial sales, second stage transactions, repurchase obligation financing, and seller note refinancing, ESOPs can offer tax advantages, increased liquidity, employee incentives, and overall diversification of net worth to help your company plan for the future. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
See what everyone is talking about at the club at Lac La Belle. The birthplace of golf in Wisconsin has a rich history you will feel upon arrival. The historic course is open to the public 7 days a week. Experience a round at the club at Lac La Belle. Schedule your tee time today at club@laclabelle.com. Looking for more golf? Take advantage of same-day replay rates and enjoy fine dining and event space after your round. An historic past meets a vibrant future. Go to club@laclabelle.com to start your journey.
Who's ready to save a bucket load at Fleet Farm? Just buy one of our signature 5-gallon buckets for $3.99 and get 15% off anything that fits inside it. Save on Daiwa, Daredevil, and Trilane, DeWalt, and Milwaukee hand tools. Save on snacks, grilling gear, and more. Any qualifying products that fit in the bucket are 15% off now through June 26th. Our bucket sale is just another great way to save on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman here for Carbless, my go-to drink this summer. Handcrafted right here in Wisconsin, Carbless is a ready-to-drink vodka and tequila cocktail. Perfect for hanging out on the patio by the grill, chilling on the lake, or tailgating at the Brewers game. Plus, it's got 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. All summer, make sure you're following Carbless on Instagram at Drink Carbless for your chance to win a Summer Bliss prize package. Find Carbless online and at retailers near you. Carbless. Liss is more.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here telling you about Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. On Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. Pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become part of the Prize Picks community today. You can win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Turn $10 into $1,000. If you're looking for promotions, Prize Picks has got you covered every week. From lowering select player stat projections on Tuesdays to help your lineup hit, or getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Fridays. Even with the new Hoops champion crowned, the Hoops action doesn't stop on Prize Picks. Women's basketball is heating up. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WI for a first deposit match up to $100. That's code WI. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
This song now has reached the point, much like Andy Grammer's songs did for me. If I hear him in the grocery store, I would think, oh, it's the 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Now is Bryan Bulaga here at the grocery store? That's what this song reminds me of. He joins us now. You can hear him across ESPN Wisconsin, especially during the Homer Hour. I enjoy the hour that he spends with Uncle Homer on Mondays, and I get to join him. It is Bryan Bulaga. Bryan, good morning. How are you?
Guys, good morning. How we doing?
Not at the farm today. Back home.
I'll probably go there later today because Declan's got a little soccer thing, and he does it out there because we got a lot of open space, and we got a goal for him. So he goes out there, kind of does some soccer training, and I do stuff out there. So that's what we're going to do later today.
How much stuff has gotten done? Well, give us a progress report. Are there donkeys living off the land? Have you planted these small orange trees that I am expecting in Florida? What have you accomplished to this point?
Not yet. A lot's been accomplished. Like, there's a lot of land work and groundwork that we're doing, grading things out, clearing out trees and brush and things like that, and kind of doing little projects here and there to get it ready. And I would assume by probably after this summer, Abby and I will start kind of getting the fruit trees planted and kind of heading down that path. There was just a lot of stuff that needed to be done before we even took that step to start doing that. So kind of once we get through the summer and the rainy season and kind of understand where all the water sits on the property when we get a bunch of it, and kind of understand how the property flows when we get a bunch of water and where to plant things, we'll have a better idea of what we need to do and where we can put things. So it's going to take a little bit, but everything's a learning experience. Everything's a learning experience.
So like you as a Florida farmer are a lot like Jordan Love as an NFL quarterback. You should not be tending the fields right now. You have to learn more and get them ready before it's prime time of picking oranges.
Yeah, essentially what Tausch said, like maybe around Thanksgiving. You know, Thanksgiving is probably a pretty good, because I'm a freshman and I shouldn't see any action till Thanksgiving. So we'll put it that way.
Well, there you go. There'll be a bountiful orange crop around Thanksgiving, is what it sounds like. And if you're looking for an outdoor pool, Wilde's trying to sell one on Facebook Marketplace that you could pick up, where all that water drains, load it right into that pool, and boom, you can let your donkeys take a swim out in that pool.
I think it's pending delivery to Jesse.
I know you don't have donkeys.
We're not doing any donkeys, but maybe Jason and Kelsey, we can let them through the other side of the fence and they can enjoy that.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
All right, Bryan. So there's a few things that have developed over the last few days. I know I talked to you on Monday about the presidency, and we'll get into that a little bit coming up. But we just played that clip from Dan Orlovsky about all the improvement and the growth and what have you. And I was asking Tausch about the early days of the Aaron Rodgers era, because he was there and you weren't. And I don't remember Rodgers having a stretch in that first season that were as inconsistent as Jordan Love was during the first half of the season. But I don't hear anyone pushing back at all at this point on him being the highest paid quarterback, on the fact that he only had that second half that he did. Like, it is almost as if we are all convinced that that first half didn't happen and the second half is who he really is. And let me be clear, I'm among those people. What do you make of where things are at? Because nothing has occurred on the contract front. I don't expect that to happen until we're closer to training camp or after it starts. So what do you make of kind of where the narrative is? Because I know you and Homer spend a lot of time talking about him too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be wise for everyone to remember what happened early on. I get it that the team was in transition, right? I mean, you look at the roster from top down, it was very young, a lot of inexperience, things of that nature. But we got to remember, right? Because as much as we loved what he did in the second half, in which I'm on board with everyone else, that's who I think he is as a player and kind of what we should expect from him going forward. We can't just throw that out, right? Because that is was part of his growth, part of his experience. It's on his resume. And if we do see maybe, I don't know, I don't even want to say it, but maybe a little step back from what we saw at the end to start this season and kind of as he gets his feet back underneath him and probably this big new contract, and maybe there's a little lull in the play. Like, we got to remember that he did have that as well, and he came through at the end and ended up playing phenomenal football. So I think it's one of those things that you just can't forget about it. But with that as well, I like to look at the rest of the roster, because we look at how he started and we look how the offensive line started and we look how the receiver started and the running game, and it was all really bad. Like, everything was not good. And so I don't put it all on Jordan Love. Obviously, he's part of the equation. I still believe Matt LaFleur was part of the equation with kind of how he was calling plays and kind of letting Jordan Love ease into this thing, which I can understand that for maybe 1 or 2 weeks. But then by week 3, you got to let him go and let him play. I think LaFleur had his hand in that as well. But I said to Homer on Monday, I always look at the players. Like, we can say what we want about coaching, and because we all know Matt LaFleur can coach, we all know Matt LaFleur can call an offense. We know that aspect's there, and then it comes down to players and how do players execute what's being called, and how do they look. And the players simply, I mean, for me, in the beginning of the last season, weren't good enough. They just weren't playing good enough. They weren't playing assignment football. They weren't playing fundamental football. They were just out there, and you could tell the youth of the team. And then, I always reference the Pittsburgh game. It was, even though they lost, it was like a turnaround. Like, something happened, and you knew something good was going to happen from that point on, and it did. And I don't think I'm pushing back on Jordan Love being the highest paid guy, in the NFL. It's not something that would make me what's Green Bay do? It wouldn't make me feel that way, because that's just the way the quarterback contracts are going right now. There's nothing you can really do about that. It's the way it goes. And Tausch has said this, and I know I've said it. In 3 or 4 years, that contract's going to look like nothing the way the salary cap's moving, right? We'll look at whatever Jordan Love gets in 4 years, people are going to look at it as a bargain. So if he happens to be at $56 million and some change APY or whatever the deal works out to be, in 3-4 years, if he continues to perform this way, it's going to look like the bargain of a century, just like everyone felt about the Patrick Mahomes deal when that first hit. And everyone's like, this is ridiculous. And then boom, Super Bowls later. And now it's a bargain. And people are going, he's got to go back to the table. Like, this guy's underpaid. So I'm not that worried about whatever Jordan Love's contract works out to be. I'm not that concerned about it. Like, no, if it's too high or we think it's too high right now, it's not going to be in 3 years. And that's just the way the NFL works with quarterbacks.
Yeah, the thing that Orlovsky said on our show yesterday, I think we all are in that same boat. I don't know when. I'm fascinated to see if he does not get a deal before that 22nd of July, I believe, is the date that they're starting practice. He's not going to sit out. And I think the Packers, that's the part that's going to be the interesting part to me, because you would think his team is going to say one thing. I just, not knowing Jordan, but understanding he's only done this for a year. I can't envision him not getting up there and taking snaps during training camp. Jason, I don't know if you feel that way. I don't know. That is the only contention point. Otherwise, I think this thing is going to end up being – I still think it'll get done before the 22nd, but if it doesn't, I'll be curious to see what Jordan's team's reaction is if that doesn't happen.
Well, let me ask you both this then, because I have been very outspoken about Davante Adams in 2021. And, Brian, I know you were gone by then and you were with the Chargers, but, like, he did the right thing, right, as a teammate. He did the right thing. He came to camp, he played out his contract, and took the risk of playing in spite of not having a second long-term deal done. Other players around the league did not take that approach. They did the hold-in where they came to camp and they, my arm, like Rodney Dangerfield and Caddyshack, and did not participate. I understand that Jordan Love is a good guy and Davante Adams is a good dude, but you got to do what's right for you. And you guys tell me, if he came to camp and said, look, until this deal's done, I'm not going out there. I'm not going to have Kenneth Odomegwu trip and fall as he's rushing the passer and land in my knees until we get this deal done. Would you, as his teammates, would you be mad or would you be supportive of him? Because you both understand what he needs to do to get his generational wealth contract. I would argue that his teammates wouldn't be pissed at all at him. Am I wrong?
No, I mean, as a teammate, if he decided to do something that he thought was best for him personally and his career, I don't think anyone has an issue with it. Like, I mean, I wouldn't have an issue with it. If he went to camp and held in and he didn't take any snaps until the deal was done, hey, it's the way it goes. Like, at the end of the day, each position group, I get the receivers are maybe a little more linked in with that than like, you know, a lot of other positions. But, like, for me, especially as a lineman and running backs and things like that, like, it's business as usual for us. We got to go out there. The same plays are being called. A lot of the same adjustments are happening. We still got to go out there and block and get ourselves ready to play games. Well, the quarterback position is obviously, as we all know, extremely vital to how things go with timing and all that kind of stuff. Like, I understand all that, but at the end of the day, like, a lot of these other position groups, like linemen and running, like, you just got to go out there and do it, whether it's the backup doing it or if it's Jordan Love doing it. You got to go and get ready. So if he decided that, hey, I'm not going to take any snaps till I get my money, like, you kind of look at it as a teammate, be like, hey, man, I support you with whatever you got going on. I totally understand. At the end of the day, this is a business, and each guy is his own personal business, and you got to take care of first things first. So, and I get that's not what a lot of fans want to hear, and it's a tough thing to discuss. But inside the locker room, I don't think guys would be upset about it. I don't see it being that way. I mean, if guys ever did that, or if guys were upset about their contract when I was there, like, and they were not happy or were behaving a certain way or doing a certain thing, like, that's none of my business, because it's not my contract. It's not my money. It has nothing to do with me. I got to go out in there and take care of my job. And that's really the most important thing. So I think it'd be a non-issue if he did that.
And the only time, Tausch, Tausch, the only
totally
time I
agree with that assessment, and I don't think there's any player that, especially in this situation where, I know Jordan has only played a year, but the fact that he would be sitting there saying, I'm only going to make $11 million, I can't do that, and when I should be making this, and you don't get into great details. It's not like you're going to sit down with Blue and say, well, what do you think of this? It's just, hey, this is the business of it. I'm here. I'm going to go to meetings. I'm going to do all this other stuff. And even if he decided to not come in, which, again, none of this is going to happen. But this is, as we're sitting here, this is potentially something that could happen. There isn't going to be a player in that locker room that's not going to be supportive of Jordan Love. There's not.
And the only time I remember it going differently was in 2005 when Javon Walker held out and Brett Favre criticized him publicly. And I think he was the only one from that team that did that. And Javon's situation was different. I get it. He had like 2 years left on his deal and lots of other stuff that was part of that. But I don't get the sense. I think Jordan Love's teammates want him to get paid. And then whatever that takes, they'll be fine with it once it finally gets done. We'll talk more with Bryan Bulaga. We talked a little bit about the kicking competition when I joined him and Homer, and I actually had a rare, strong opinion, which took them both by surprise. We'll talk a little bit about that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Who's ready to save a bucket load at Fleet Farm? Just buy one of our signature 5-gallon buckets for $3.99 and get 15% off anything that fits inside it. Save on Daiwa, Daredevil, and Trilane, DeWalt, and Milwaukee hand tools. Save on snacks, grilling gear, and more. Any qualifying products that fit in the bucket are 15% off now through June 26th. Our bucket sale is just another great way to save on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Even when you get a great price, diamonds cost a lot of money.
But we want you to be able to buy the engagement ring you really want.
You won't have to settle for anything less than fantastic when you come to Kessler's.
We do everything in our power to make it possible for you to give her that magical engagement ring you really want her to have.
Friendly financing makes it possible.
We can give you 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit.
And with approved credit, we can give you 36 months to pay with just 9.99%.
And if getting your credit approved is a problem, we've even got second chance financing for people who deserve a second chance.
Don't settle for second best. Come to Kessler's.
Seriously, we do everything in our power to make it possible for you to give her that magical engagement ring you really want her to have.
That's the sort of thing you can expect from us when you hear us say, welcome to Kessler's.
Welcome to Kessler's.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com. And one more thing. Welcome to Kessler's.
Discover the difference at findhigherlove.com/CBD. Higher Love Cannabis Company is the only cultivator in the UP offering organic, clean green certified products. That means quality you can trust every time. With 7 locations across the UP, including Menominee, Norway, and Ironwood, finding your Higher Love is easier than ever before. And for our friends in Green Bay, Higher Love is less than an hour away. Kindness starts with you. Experience Higher Love today. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD and follow them on social media at Find Higher Love.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Come escape to Lake Lawn Resort. Enjoy stunning lakeside views, on-site golf, award-winning spa, and numerous dining options, including 1878 on the lake. Dive into the pools, explore water sports, or relax by the lakeside fire pits. Experience Lake Lawn Resort's newly renovated guest rooms, part of a multi-million-dollar upgrade for ultimate comfort and luxury. Whether it's a romantic getaway, family vacation, or corporate retreat, Lake Lawn Resort has it all. Book your stay at Lake Lawn Resort today and discover the perfect blend of adventure and relaxation.
This is Kevin Van Rossum, president of 3 Tree Marketing. If your company is struggling to create a buzz or just looking for a new way to stand out, our team is here to help point you in the right direction. We'll assist you in building your brand and prove we truly know what works. Experts at 3 Tree can build a one-of-a-kind gifting experience that can set your brand apart and show how much you value your customers as well as your employees. At 3 Tree Marketing, we chase partners, not orders. Visit 3treemarketing.com to learn more about what we can do for you.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank, and as I tried writing this radio commercial on my phone, that darn autocorrect always seemed to give me fits. Which got me thinking, if you're looking for a stress-free, painless, wow, that was easy home mortgage process, give Great Midwest Bank a try. Find an experienced loan officer at greatmidwestbank.com to guide you to a state of banquility. Yeah, autocorrect would have never caught that one. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is second to none. You might not know them here in this big city we're in, but when I go back home, I've got some famous friends. Yeah,
continuing with Bryan Bulaga. And Bryan, what do you think of competition? How vital is it for everyone on the roster to face it?
Yeah, I mean, I think competition is good. I think everyone should always feel, I mean, besides probably like the quarterback, I feel like everybody should feel a sense that they can be replaced at every time and that the team is always looking to replace you. That's how I always felt.
Did you feel that? You felt that even though you were a first-round pick and you were a starter that we always knew was going to be a starter? Like you felt that emotion even though you were pretty entrenched?
Yeah, I always felt, especially after probably around my 3rd or 4th year, because I was still too young to even, like my first few years, it wasn't even going off in my brain like the business of the NFL. But after probably my 3rd or 4th year, I always felt that Green Bay was always looking to replace me. Now, whether that was true or not, I don't know. But in my head, I always felt like every year I had to get in a training camp and show why I should be the starter for the Green Bay Packers. And that was just my mindset, because I felt like every year in the draft, they draft linemen, they draft tackles, and it was my responsibility to show why I needed to be their guy. So, like, I think it's healthy in a sense that you do bring in competition in other positions so guys feel that stress. They feel that urgency to perform and do their job at a high level, which then obviously raises the bar for everybody else, and everyone else feels that sense of urgency and kind of pride in their work, because that's really what it like you have pride in your work and what you're putting on tape. That's the biggest thing in the NFL is what you show. I mean, obviously classroom work and the type of person you are important, but at the end of the day, it's when you sit down in those meeting rooms at the end of practice, what you're watching is your body of work, and you got to take pride in it. And you should always feel that someone wants your job and the organization wants to replace you for whether it's a cheaper or younger option or whatever it may be. You got to have that sense that, hey, man, I can be replaced at any given time. I am not the quarterback. I am not the centerpiece of this team. I need to make sure that every day I'm proving it. And so I think it's healthy for a team to have that.
So the reason I asked that philosophical question is that last year, and I didn't criticize them for this, and I should have, they did not have competition for Anders Carlson. None. They drafted him, and 2 weeks later they cut the kid Parker White that they'd had in the offseason program. They didn't bring in anybody else to compete with him. And now we're seeing, and then this is what I talked about with you and Homer the other night after we got done talking about the presidency, is that they're not messing around now. And I always say that I hate the fact that at OTAs we only get to see 3 out of the 9 practices because I don't know what goes on at the other 6. Well, I think we can say, based on clues, that Anders Carlson is in no way blowing away the competition this offseason. They not only had 3 guys in, but then they cut Jack Podlesny, and you're thinking, oh, okay, they're just going to go with 2 guys going into camp. No. They brought in the UFL kicker, Jake Bates, and had him in for a tryout. He gets a job with the Lions. The Lions cut their kicker, James Turner, and the Packers claim him on waivers. We're back to 3 kickers. So what I said to you and Homer was, if you thought that this was just going through the motions and they were going to give Anders Carlson the job unless he fell off the face of the earth, this ain't the case. Like, this is a real competition, and I know neither one of you guys were kickers. But the idea that the in-person competition is happening at this position now tells me that they realize how important it is to have that pressure on their guy. And I don't know if he's going to win the job now, frankly.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
if he doesn't win the job, he's not ready to be the kicker for this team.
Right.
So what Bryan is saying is completely accurate. I think any player that ever feels like he has it made or it's his gig, it ain't worth a lick. And that includes quarterback. Now, I know quarterback you have to handle a little bit more delicately because, ego and everything else. But when it comes to kicking, it's not like, offensive lineman, we'll let this kid marinate a little bit. Ryan. We could look at Ryan and say, well, he wasn't very good when he got there. You couldn't put him in. He's a third-round pick, and we can't play him. Well, you can you can have him develop and grow. Redshirt, if you will. You can't do that with a kicker. You're not keeping 2. You got to deliver the goods. And is it fair? No, it's tough. Hey, welcome to the NFL. This is the job you're in, and if you can't do it, somebody else is. And with kickers, it is a recycling and who's hot now and who can come in and make kicks. It is all about pressure, and it's all about delivering. So if Anders can't take this on and win, he's not your guy, and that's okay. The Packers wanted him to be the guy, and I think last year looked at it as let's let him grow. We actually have an opportunity to let a kicker grow into the job. Daniel Carlson was not allowed to do that in Minnesota. He missed a couple kicks against Green Bay, and it was deuces B, and now he's out in Las Vegas. He's a big-time kicker. So it's almost unfortunate for Anders that Jordan Love and this team accelerated so quickly because it limits his ability to grow. And now, hey, man, there's some seedlings coming up, but, man, we need a fully harvested orange grove. We don't have till Thanksgiving for you to get us oranges, man. We're citrus dependent, and we need you to deliver. And if you can't, the donkey farmer next door, we'll go buy the oranges from him.
Citrus dependent.
No, I mean, you're 100% right. And you kind of look at it last year with what they brought in, and they cut the backup kid, and it's almost like, and listen, when you're going through training camp, the upper management, GM, scouts are always dialed into what's going on the roster. But it's almost as if they looked at it as, we got more important things to focus on than pushing our rookie kicker and letting him compete, right? We got young wideouts that we're trying to see how they're competing. We got a brand new quarterback. We have a young offensive line. We don't know if Dave Bakhtiari is going to, they had a lot going on in other places that are very important besides the kicking game. And kind of like Tausch said, I'm not sure if they were expecting to put their kicker in the pressure cooker like they did last season and see how he performed.
Definitely.
And it kind of showed that he wasn't ready for it, whether it was an extra point. I mean, it doesn't matter. You're a kicker, and unfortunately, like Tausch said, you don't really have time to develop. You got to deliver the goods right away as a kicker. And this is going to be, I mean, we talked about, camp battles. This is probably going to be up there in the top one or two battles of training camp. Who is going to be the guy, right? Like, and listen, I would Green Bay invested a draft pick on Anders. Sorry. I hope he's the guy. I hope he, kind of turns it around from last year and he kind of learns from his mistakes. But clearly Green Bay doesn't feel that way with releasing a kicker and bringing another one right back in to bring it up to 3, right? Like, clearly there's something that they're still seeing after OTAs that they don't like. And, it's I can't remember a time where Green Bay brought in 3 kickers in a training camp. I can remember 2. It always used to be 2, right? They always had someone in, whether that was pushing Mason or maybe giving Mason a little bit of rest throughout training camp to make sure he wasn't just constantly kicking every day and during special teams and things like that. But, like, I don't remember a time when it was 3. Even after Mason's bad season, I don't remember it being 3. So there's clearly something that they see that that they're not comfortable with in that department, that they're going to continue this competition for a while now.
Yeah.
And I was getting torched last year. by fans that are like, this is an issue. And I brought it up early on with Homer in the season when Anders missed a few kicks early on in it. And it was an issue, and I brought it up with Homer, and I brought it up on Twitter, like, this is going to be a problem. Like, this is an issue. And it was like, he's a rookie, give him time. And I'm like, I understand that. Like, I understand he's a rookie, but you can't just continue to miss kicks in the NFL as a kicker, rookie or not. It doesn't matter. Like, that's not the leeway for that position isn't the same as others. Like Tau said with like Sean Ryan's a perfect example.
Right.
He said it wasn't good enough. Give him time to marinate. And now we got him, and he looked good last year, and now he's probably going to be the starter. Kickers don't get that. Like, that's not the way it goes. So I got roasted last year. We'll see if he wins the job this year and it comes to fruition and he delivers the goods. I hope he does.
And if he doesn't and he gets an opportunity somewhere else, maybe he does what his brother did and finds that rhythm with someone else. And then maybe you're regretting not being more patient. But look, I don't want to sit here and praise Tausch because you just did it as well. And citrus dependent was unexpected. But
that's good. That was good.
You're right. He is the one guy who didn't benefit from what Jordan Love and that team did in the second half of last season because they had him in a pressure cooker situation on that 41-yard field goal. And they were never, when the season started and when they traded Rasul Douglas, they never thought that their rookie kicker would be kicking a 41-yard field goal with 6 minutes left in a divisional playoff round game that would give you a 7-point lead and put you within striking distance of an NFC championship game berth. No one in that building thought that when the season started. And that's where they ended up, and Anders Carlson missed the kick. Bryan?
Yeah, and the thing is, they brought in a reliable veteran to compete with them. So they're looking at this as, if this kid doesn't, perform well enough in the preseason, we're going with the veteran because we've seen what he's done in pressure moments. We've seen him throughout his career on tape, and they're serious about it. Like, this is a serious competition. This isn't like you said, Jason, on Monday. This isn't for show. This is legitimate.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that they brought a third kicker back after they got rid of Poludzny was when it was like, he must not have been very good in the offseason.
Yeah.
I did not think that before. I still thought if it's a push, they're going to give it to the young guy in Anders. The more you watch their actions, doesn't matter what they're saying.
Yeah.
Their actions are telling us he better get his blank together or he gone.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Bryan, go get those fields graded properly because we are citrus dependent on Wilde Tausch. We appreciate you, buddy. Thank you.
All right, guys, take care.
God, I know we got to get to the 10 o'clock hour, but how did you get to citrus dependent?
I'll have to have Jesse roll the tape back. The bottom line is,
beautiful.
you just You understand, I like bringing things back around when I can, and if you're dependent on a kicker, which every NFL team is, you better be able to deliver what is being asked of you. And if you're not, it is a tough. I know we always give kickers a ton of grief. You're golfing and you don't get hit, and it's easy gig. Well, it's easy till it's not. And then when it's not, you're out scrounging for a job. And that's the tough part about that gig.
All right, well, I know you're Blue Mountain dependent when it comes to having a nice ice-cold beer after a hard shift on the grader in a parking lot as well.
Yeah, it's always Coors Light in my hand, and it is hot. It was smoking hot last night, and it's going to be hot again today. Coors Light brewed with a 3-step cold process. Cold lager, cold filtered, and cold packaged, so it's made to chill. And I'm going to make sure that those mountains on my Coors Light, little 16-ounce, I like the little screw top deal. The 16-ouncer, you get all that, and those mountains are just baby blue. That's when you know it's chilled to perfection. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand. When I need a moment to chill, celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
We'll kick off the 10 o'clock hour in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Who's ready to save a bucket load at Fleet Farm? Just buy one of our signature 5-gallon buckets for $3.99 and get 15% off anything that fits inside it. Save on Daiwa, Daredevil, and Trilane, DeWalt, and Milwaukee hand tools. Save on snacks, grilling gear, and more. Any qualifying products that fit in the bucket are 15% off now through June 26th. Our bucket sale is just another great way to save on everything you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
What do you get when you combine grilled-to-order deliciousness with only the finest Wisconsin cheeses? Cousin Sub's new Wisconsin cheese steaks, featuring either steak or chicken, bacon, cheddar cheese, sautéed onions, and their new Cheddar Supreme cheese sauce. It's a match made in dairy heaven. And the decadence doesn't stop there. Pair your Wisconsin cheesesteak with their new Orange Dream Shake. All are available for a limited time only. Order in store, online, or via the mobile app. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Make plans to attend the Bud Pavilion's free concert series Wednesday Night Live. Gates open at 6 with music from Almighty Vinyl starting at 7. Epic bands, unforgettable nights. It's Wednesday Night Live at the Bud Pavilion at State Fair Park this Wednesday with Almighty Vinyl.
Grab your bike August 3rd and 4th and hit the road for Bike MS Best Damn Bike Tour, presented by the Wilkie Family Foundation. Be part of a one-of-a-kind experience with extraordinary routes around the Baraboo area that comes with a sense of pride that you're making a difference for the more than 20,000 people here in Wisconsin who live with multiple sclerosis. Enjoy the beautiful Wisconsin summer and don't just ride, Bike MS. Register today at bikems.org. That's bikems.org.
What is dedication?
People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike and you didn't? I just created an environment where they taught themselves and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication.
Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
As always, to Bryan Bulaga. Jesse is working feverishly to re-rack the citrus dependence conversation to see how we got there, because that was enjoyable. Tausch, one thing to put a bow on the kicker situation and then to get back on the clock. When you look at how this has played out, and if you're old enough to remember, the Packers once drafted a kicker in the 3rd round after winning the Super Bowl, Brett Conway out of Penn State, and he flamed out, and fortunately the Packers had a backup plan, and he ended up going into the Packers Hall of Fame alongside Old T, and that was Ryan Longwell, who had been cut by the San Francisco 49ers and claimed on waivers to be basically a training camp leg. They wanted They wanted Brett Conway to win the job because they drafted him in the third round. How hard is it, or how important is it? Because I think Goody has no problem doing this, to put aside, hey, we drafted this guy, and say, this guy's not the guy that gives us the best chance to win. You always talk about first-round picks have to continually prove they don't belong, whereas a guy like you had to continually prove that you did. Does the drafting of a specialist fit into that same box, or not necessarily?
Well, I think these guys always want to be right. The general managers that pick guys, they want their guys to, because it makes them look good, and they trust their process to get as many good football players in the building. So that upsets that when it happens. But the good ones, and Ron Wolf was one, and I believe Brian Gutekunst is as well, you have to be willing to admit, I'm not going to hit 1,000. If I'm hitting 400, I'm doing great. And not every pick is going to pan out like last year's draft. Now, the same thing can be said for Anders. It's a position where I think you want to be right. You like his leg strength. There's a lot of things to like about him, but if it's not right, Goody is shown, if there's one thing, and you could say this is a negative, Goody is not all about the emotions of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think he tries to be as, take the emotion out of it and answer the question, will this help our football team win games? No, I don't think he's a jerk about it. I think he tries to, I don't think he's Billy Bean, where he's not going to go and have any conversations with guys, because there's been, David Bakhtiari joined us. He says really nice things about someone that just cut him. And because the line of communication, and that's, I think, something Goody has gotten better and better at. But I don't think there's any question. If Anders Carlson struggles and is not the guy, they'll move on. This isn't, well, we like him and this. No, you ain't getting it done. You got to go. That's just, unfortunately, that's the tough part of this business.
All right, I want to shift gears to something that a corollary question to something you guys asked while I was gone. We'll get to that coming up, but it might have a little bit to do with Anders Carlson as well. We'll transition to that coming up. Plus, we've got Uncle Homer scheduled to appear later in the hour. Tausch, time to tell us about AmFam and all the great things that we've gotten going on with that partnership.
Well, folks, it's that time of year again. Nobody, and I mean nobody, tailgates like Brewers fans. What if I told you that American Family Insurance can help you take that tailgating experience to the next level? Enter the Superfan Tailgate Sweepstakes for an all-expenses paid day at American Family Field. And this part is so sweet. Your own personal chef for you and 5 friends. You'll get field-level tickets, gift cards to some of your favorite spots at the stadium, and much more. Go to amfam.com/brewer to enter today. Again, you get tickets, you get gift cards, and you get a blanking chef out in the parking lot cooking up a meal for you. How sweet is that? No purchase is necessary. Dream fearlessly, insure carefully.
If you look at what Anders Carlson did last year, he wasn't good enough. Who is the player beyond Jordan Love that the Packers cannot afford to have stink next season? It's a little bit of a twist on a question that Tausch and Jesse asked while I was gone. I'm curious how you'll answer, and I'll ask it next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. You hear me talk all the time about Bank 5-9 and their mission to make lives better. That mission extends beyond their customers and communities to their employees. Bank 5-9 was just honored again by Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 15 years in a row. They were named the #1 mid-sized employer in the region and earned special recognition for the company's overall direction. Want to learn more about working with my friends at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Many people with unique homes reach out to Pella because our team of experts can customize windows and doors that match architecture from any era.
I love that I have a home that is 100 years old. It's a historic district, and we didn't want to ruin the look by having modern windows in an older home. When I found out that Pella had an architecturally accurate product line, they simply guided us and helped us to make a great decision for our home.
Order today and get 0% interest for up to 36 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Certain restrictions apply at 6/30/2024.
Hey, welcome to the IKEA Midsummer Sale. Hello. Save up to 50% on outdoor furniture and indoor essentials and have your best summer.
Oh, how about storage for my inflatable flamingos?
We've got you covered. Let's turn your space into a summer haven with space for birds.
Awesome.
Visit us in store from June 12th to July 9th or at ikea-usa.com/midsummer. Offer valid dates may vary. U.S. only while supplies last. Selection may vary by store and online. See store and ikea-usa.com/midsummer for complete terms. Restrictions apply.
Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Check out the newest Lady Jane's in Oak Creek on Howell Ave, just south of Puce Road. Just walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Ask for me, Haley. I will make you look and feel great. Take advantage of a grand opening special. Haircuts are just $20. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Oak Creek on Howell Ave, just south of Puce Road. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Check, 1, 2. These sounds can only mean one thing. It's Summerfest! Milwaukee, are you ready? 600 artists, 12 stages, one epic lakefront. Don't miss 3 unforgettable weekends of music, June 20th through July 6th. Summerfest, presented by American Family Insurance. Find tickets, lineup, and more at summerfest.com.
Tired of power outages disrupting your life? Make them a thing of the past by getting a Generac home standby generator from Adams Generators. Adams Generators is the largest and #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. With 24/7 emergency support, our factory-trained technicians are standing by to assist you. Visit adamspower.com/generators to make sure your power always stays on. That's adamspower.com/generators.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor. If it's a celebrate or tailgate when you're gonna recreate upstate. If it's a holiday, birthday, any date, you can save at discount liquor.
It's the world's largest music festival, and you'll be there compliments of Discount Liquor. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. There is no other party like Summerfest. Buy any one 15-pack of 16-ounce aluminum bottles of Miller Lite, Coors Light, or Coors Banquet, or any one 12-pack of Vizzy Hard Seltzer and receive one free Summerfest ticket. Visit us at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee and in Barstow and Maine in downtown Waukesha.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings.
See us for your free Summerfest ticket and check out our specials at DiscountLiquorInc.com.
Discount Liquor.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Perfect time, and maybe that's never. So don't you dare leave me now. Throw my heart on the ground. 'Cause tonight ain't the night for sorrow. But you can hurt me tomorrow. You can hurt me, you can hurt me, you can hurt me, you can hurt me, you can hurt me.
So I always know when something has gotten Tausch's attention because he tweets. Because you're not a serial tweeter. There's a lot of people that love to be on the tweeter, or X, I guess. I keep calling it Twitter. Does anyone actually call it X?
No.
Yeah.
I
think
don't.
so.
No.
But you asked a question almost a week ago now. Besides J. Love, who do you believe needs to be the most impactful Packer in 2024? And I thought it was a great question. Yeah.
Great question.
So I'm going to put a twist on it now because that was, we're not going to redo all the shows that I missed because, well, nobody wants that.
What's your answer? Okay.
I think it's Rashawn Gary. I think they need him to be the field tilting player that he has been previously before his injury. The elite pass rusher from what we discussed once upon a time. On the flip side of this question, though, is who is the guy other than Jordan Love that they can't afford to have play poorly? And I think there are guys that I don't anticipate playing poorly, so I'm not even kind of concerned. Like Xavier McKinney, yeah, they're in trouble if he's bad, but I don't think in any way that he's going to be bad, right? So he's not kind of who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of players that you're not quite sure about, and whether. So, for example, and I think he improved a lot last season.
I know who you're going to say.
Who am I going to say? Are we back to finishing sentences?
No, I'm not finishing your sentences. I think you're going to say Rasheed Walker.
I was going to say Rasheed Walker. Oh, it's like I haven't even been going. Now, I again, is it fair to judge a first-round draft pick based on 3 OTA practices and a couple of minicamp practices? Of course not. They're not in pads. I have no idea how good Jordan Morgan is going to be. But it's not like he walked in there like he was Joe Thomas and was with the ones from the moment he walked in. So he is not Joe Thomas, even though they both have short arms. But I don't know if he's going to win that starting job, but I don't have any indications that they're handing it to him, that's for sure. And whoever plays there, whether it's the first-round pick or it's Rasheed Walker, I don't think they can afford to have their left tackle not play well. So that was my answer, and you were correct. Are you with me on that, or do you have someone else in mind?
Well, I mean, I think if Rasheed Walker doesn't play well, then you put Jordan Morgan over there. So, I mean, it comes down to war. Is that how you say wins against replacement?
What is it good for?
I don't know if that is absolutely nothing. If that's what we're talking about, you could make that claim, but I think I'm going to go, and again, you can't really preface it with, I don't think this is going to happen, and all this. You're going to ask the question. Yeah, but it's lame. I think Jair Alexander.
Thanks. It's great to be back.
I'm still curious. He's saying all the right things. We played a bunch of Terrell Buckley audio from Homer's show that I thought was great. It's his guy, so he's going to say those things. So Jair has been there. He was at camp. He missed the mandatory minicamp. That was excused, which was smart by the Packers. He was there all offseason. If he can revert back to who he was pre-injury, and I thought the real interesting part of that T-Buck conversation was the acknowledgement that injury, which we all saw, anyone that pays attention,
Najee Harris,
really affected Jair. Hopefully he's past that mental hurdle and he's back to being the dog that he was. Because if he is, I think this Hafley defense has a chance to be really good. If he's not, and he's still lukewarm, I think is the nicest way I can put it, about putting his nose in there and making tackles, I don't think this defense can be that much better. And if it's not, they're not going to go any further than they did last year. So Jair Alexander, to answer your question, would be my answer.
Jesse, since you're transitioning back to the producer's role instead of running the show, do you have someone in mind?
You look relieved. Jesse looks like he's on vacation.
This has been nice being back here.
Was it that? So, all right, we'll get your answer later. Was it that hard? Was it that taxing? Was it that onerous to be in my seat?
There's definitely more pressure on you to be interesting and insightful.
Hey,
informed.
I'm going to be on the radio. I have to be interesting. Hey, Anders. Yeah, we expect you to make some extra points. Anders
Nelson.
Back here, I get to just kind of chill and be like, nah, I don't have anything on this. I'm going to go play with some buttons.
Well, I'm sorry that we put you in that position, but I know you were happy to do it, and I appreciate you giving me that opportunity.
Oh, thank you.
So you don't have an answer? Is that what you're saying?
No, coincidentally, so I said Christian Watson might be near the top of my list last week with the question that we asked, but I could also make the argument that he's near the top of the list for this question, because I think the offense looks totally different when he's healthy and part of the 4 different receivers that can help propel things forward and create for somebody to be open with all the options that are available. When he's not out there, we've proven, Matt LaFleur and the Packers have proven that last year they were able to get it done without him, and so it works. But it looks different and it works better when he's available. So he might be, strangely enough, in my answer for both questions. Who, last week what we asked about who could have the biggest impact, but also who could they not afford to have on the field this year? He could be the difference between being a Super Bowl team and not.
It's a good answer. I'm glad you're back in your comfort zone. We will ask this question and get back to it. We'll ask Homer the question as well coming up. Want to remind you that the 4th of July is right around the corner, and you can stop into Fleet Farm to get everything you need for your 4th of July celebration. You can shop deals on grills and accessories, patio furniture, camping gear, and so much more. Make this year's 4th of July one of the best yet with everything you need at Fleet Farm. You can also shop the guaranteed best prices at Fleet Farm. They've got the lowest prices on all your favorites this summer. And you'll find a lower price. If you do somewhere else, they will match it, so you always save at Fleet Farm. Find deals on everything you need for your everyday life at Fleet Farm. Steve the Homer True scheduled to appear next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and on air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Chris Carlin.
He gets aggravated with those he feels are not as intelligent as him. He does not suffer fools lightly. And if you didn't know JJ was smart, he'll tell you, and you certainly will hear it in the way that he speaks. And this is why I wonder how it's going to translate. I don't doubt his ability to speak to players. He's not that long out of the game. But I do doubt his ability to kind of mask that frustration at times, whether it be publicly or in a practice session or in a film session, something like that. Because we know that while you might be coaching in college and you can get called out and you can get dragged in a meeting, it usually doesn't work that well in the pros. There's a difference between holding players accountable and embarrassing.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give MVP's Pro Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not an MVP's Pro Rewards member? Join today. Visit Lowe's.com/Messi for more details.
Summer with Saz's. Wonton wrapped mozzarella sticks, refreshing craft cocktails, crispy sour cream and chive fries, barbecue pulled pork sandwiches, you name it, they've got it. Saz's Statehouse has been a Milwaukee staple for almost 50 years. So grab your friends and come experience the finest for yourself. Join them on their outdoor patio or pull up a seat at Saz's famous Round Bar. Complimentary shuttles are ready to take you to games and concerts at AmFam Field, located at 55th and State. Learn more at Saz's.com.
I'm Monica Kessler.
Monica makes sure that everything at Kessler's is worthy of a lifetime warranty.
The quality of your ring is incredibly important when it comes to diamond setting, ring sizing, and repairs.
Monica has been part of Kessler's since she was 6 years old.
Let me tell you how to judge the quality of the jewelry you're buying.
It's easier than you think.
All you have to do is read the warranty.
Most stores offer a 5-year warranty, but Kessler's offers a lifetime warranty, the strongest in the world.
We can do it because we put more gold in your jewelry.
When a jeweler wants to make a bigger profit, they put less gold into the jewelry. This makes it thinner and easier to break.
Theirs might look like ours at first glance, but Kessler's jewelry is made not to break, and that takes more gold.
We give you a lifetime warranty because our jewelry is made to last forever, just like your love.
Gold is more than $2,000 an ounce.
Kessler's gives you more gold, a lot more gold.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, go to KesslersDiamonds.com.
Uncle Homer on Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Johnson & Sons Paving. Potholes are a pain when they pop up in your asphalt. Johnson & Sons Paving can patch or replace the whole lot. Book an appointment now at johnsonsonspaving.com.
We'll hopefully talk to Homer coming up. Some news from the category of I didn't know I needed to know this, but you do need to know this. Adam Schefter just shared this on social media. You know we love Tommy DeVito's agent on this show. Love Tommy DeVito's agent. Sean Stellato is his name. There he is, if you're watching on the video stream. He apparently met today with the Pope. And he gifted the Pope a custom football with the Pope's coat of arms emblem.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, we did have some fun at Tommy DeVito's agent's expense with his...
Tommy DeVito beat... for all of us raving about those last 9 games, Tommy DeVito beat Jordan Love last year.
It's true. That is what happened.
Head matchup.
That's a great point. Something that gets forgotten often. One person who doesn't get forgotten very often is this guy. I wonder if he's ever met the Pope. You hear him every weekday on the Homer Hour. The best 60 minutes of your life each day. Sometimes with Bryan Bulaga, sometimes with John Anderson, Gary Ellerson, Tony Smith. I join him once or twice a week as well. You also hear him as the voice of the Marquette Men's Basketball Radio Network and on God Talk with Homer and Pip. It is Steve the Homer True. Homer, have you ever met the Pope?
Not personally. You'd have to check the year. I think it might have been in 1980. The Pope came to Chicago, and I went downtown, wherever the Pope was, to see him, and I faintly remember a glimpse of the Pope atop or slightly above his car, however they
Oh, the Pope-mobile.
Pope-mobile. I thought, nah, not doing this again. So just to be within the presence of, I would say it was probably a quarter mile away, third of a mile away. I've not searched for the Pope since.
His Holiness. Were you working out? You sound out of breath. Everything okay?
Oh, yeah. No, I am. I'm out of breath. I ran downstairs because I'm doing my faith at 11, and I had to get the information. So, hold on. I shouldn't be out of breath as much, but I recognize I am. So,
Who you got on? Yeah, what was that noise?
I don't know. Pip sets most of these up. And so we had to do it today because tomorrow is the world-famous Team Challenge golf outing. The only golf outing that won has had a scramble score of 102, which I believe is the highest ever. And how would you like to play behind them? And then the other thing was the first year I was through 16 holes, and they came out and said, "You're done." So what do you mean you're done? Yeah, the minister's here. He's speaking in 15 minutes. Let's go off the course. I go, really? Wow. So I have instituted rules so that doesn't happen. We have the Jesus is 100 because, of course, Jesus is 100 for everything. But if you're on the tee and you do not see a team on the green, you get to do the Jesus 100 and go to 100 yards away and play your shot from there.
Oh, that's fun.
People don't have to wait.
Why
Yeah,
100 though? Why not 33 yards away?
Could, but the many people use the phrase Jesus is 100, so it seemed 100 yards would fit that.
Okay.
But yes, if Tausch wants to change that, we could call it the Tausch 50 or the whatever you want to add. Because
Yeah,
it's golf out.
I had
You
never
help
heard of that. I've
provide
seen people where
golfers,
you
they
could.
let you do anything.
That's true. Yeah, you buy mulligans, and you as long as you're
I'm
committing
trying to
the
eliminate
cause, you
mulligans,
typically can.
and just, I'm glad you brought them up. I'm trying to eliminate mulligans. Mulligans is just for people who don't know where it's for cheating. So but people pay extra money for them. What needs to be done is eliminate mulligans. If you pay the extra money, you get to hit from the shortest tee box for every par 3, except the one that you're trying to win a car. And that would make it easier paying the money, but you still got to hit the damn shot. And the play would be faster.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why. I mean, I understand why you do it because you're trying to raise money, but it lengthens the day. And you're not really shooting 18 under par. I still think you should cut golf outings to 9 holes. Still have the same amount of people, charge the same. Cut the day in half. Have a little dinner procession afterwards. And I think most people would be pretty content with that. But that's a story for another day.
No, it's not for another day. It's going to happen. It just hasn't happened yet.
I'm on board.
It's going to happen, guaranteed. Yeah, you're on target, and then a few of them will do it, and then once a few of them do it, then other people go, "Hey,
it's like, man, that's awesome! We're only out there for 3 hours."
It's like live auctions are dying because somebody just decided, we're not giving you anything. We just need money. So will anybody donate $10,000? And so if people give money and get nothing, then why do you even have auction items? And it has eliminated the size or the number of, because people are still generous, even though they get nothing. And the people that are most generous have most of the prizes won in past auctions. So,
Homer, what's the best prize you've seen given away or potentially auctioned off at one of the? Because we give you a lot of grief. You are a good dude that does a lot of these outings and auctions. What's the best thing that you've ever seen up for auction at one of these charity events?
I think Masters tickets or a Masters event, but I think that's special. But trips, things involving Europe go pretty well. So, but the biggest ever by far was when I start an auction, I tell, okay, I'm busy. So if you buy all the auction items, if you donate $100,000, you get all the auction items and I can go home. And everybody laughs. And it's been like 2 years at the Waukesha Gun Club, an event for the MAC Fund. I did that, and some little guy in the corner raised his hand. And the guy who was running the event is next to me, and I go, what do I do now? And he goes, what do you mean, what do I do now? You're the one who said it. What do you do? I go, well, it's a joke. No one's ever done it. So the guy donated the $100,000. He let us auction off the items. And so now when I start an auction, I always start at $200,000. We haven't had a taker yet, but at some point.
How shocked were you when this actually happened?
I don't. There needs to be a bigger word than shocked. All I know is I don't know what to do. No, that's why I asked the guy. He goes, "You're the one who said it. You figure out what to do." Okay. Do you want all the items? Nah. Go ahead, auction them off. So,
wow. So it actually worked out better.
Yes, and I apologize. I don't remember his name. I just remember he was short. Speaking of short, the shortest person I have ever met in terms of, I couldn't believe how short he was Lee Trevino. At the AmFam thing, and we were doing it, he was there, and I'm right next to him, and I really wanted to say, are you taller than a fire hydrant? But I thought that would be rude, given he's...
That would have been funny.
I can't describe how short he is. I don't know how you can't.
But he's
see
stout.
that on TV.
Lee Trevino's stout though too.
Yes, he is. Oh, and the Don Haskins, the coach of Texas El Paso, the famous coach that won with the team at in the movie. What's the movie?
Glory Road.
Glory Road. So I got to interview him because of Rick Majerus, and when the movie came out, and I said, "Sorry, Coach, I'm not asking about the movie." He said, "Well, what are you having me on for?" I said, "Because I want you to tell me stories about Lee Trevino." Lee Trevino was worked at the El Paso Country Club at the time. He says, "Oh, yeah, I know Lee. What do you want?" I go, "Well, whatever you got." He goes, "He's the only golfer ever in the history of the Pro Tour who would beat you on the course and then beat you up in the bar afterwards. They go, that Lee Trevino? He goes, do you know anything about him? I said, I thought I did. No, he went out of high school. He enrolled in the Marines. He was a Marine for X number of years. And he said, you don't ever want to fight Lee Trevino. So I thought, wow, didn't know that.
So calling him a fire hydrant probably would have been ill-advised, it sounds like.
Hold on. The only reason I didn't ask him was the Don Haskins story. That he might just come over and just beat the
Clock
crap
you.
out of him.
Yeah.
Yes,
But wouldn't that be a great story for
would
you to
be.
get your tail kicked by an elderly Lee Trevino? How good would that have been?
I guess I don't want to test him. If he called today and wanted to do one of those MMA, I would not take on Lee Trevino till he's 100.
Lee Trevino, 84 years young right now. His Wikipedia page does not say how tall he is, however, so I don't have that information.
5'2". All those golfers are short. Arnold Palmer's short. People would be shocked at how short Jack Nicklaus is. They're all way under 6 feet tall. But anyway.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground. I did want to. We spent some time when I was on with you on Monday, and we just talked with Bryan Bulaga, your sidekick on Mondays. Or actually, he kind of leads the show. You're more the sidekick then on Mondays. You just sort of turn
Correct.
the show.
He's now back on Thursdays. He'll be on tomorrow too. We
twice
did
a week.
Basketball session, yeah.
All right, getting ready for the season. But we talked about how you and he and I discussed the Anders Carlson situation, and I asked the question: other than Jordan Love, who is the player the Packers can least afford to have play poorly this season? When I ask you that, what's your answer?
I should remember his name. He's a big money free agent. The kid from the Giants. What's his name again?
Xavier McKinney.
X.
Yeah, it's not even close. Nothing's even close. He has to play well. You do something you've never been done for a long time. You pay huge money to get an expensive free agent. He damn well better be good. Not just okay.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt that he'll be
I know, but that
good.
doesn't change that he's still – it's not even close. If there was no money involved, it would be Jair Alexander, because my source, Terrell Buckley, says the only thing that's been wrong, he's been hurt. Now he's healthy again, and he should totally kick butt. So it would normally be Jair, because he needs to be an elite first or second team All-Pro. But with all the money you gave the kid, that
all right. Well, no. All right. I'm glad you brought up your conversation with Terrell Buckley, because, as Tausch pointed out earlier, that's T-Buck's guy. He coached him.
Yeah.
He loves him.
He admits it. Yeah. No, he doesn't deny that.
So I know he did. So he not only had the injury that had prevented him from tackling and being as physical, but does T-Buck really think that he wasn't like a malcontent last year?
Excellent point. He was extremely supportive. T-Buck's just not who T-Buck is. You'd think he'd be like, hey, no, he supported LaFleur and gives him a ton of credit for handling it exactly the way he did. You know, he was, you can listen to it with Wisconsin On Demand. Jair screwed up big time and was handled appropriately, he feels, by LaFleur. So, but now I said, why wasn't he good? He said, he wasn't healthy. Now he's healthy, so he better be damn good. But yeah, he didn't defend him at all. Said he just messed up. He liked the way that LaFleur handled it.
All right, Homer.
Which
NBA draft, I believe, is NBA drafts tonight. Brooke Lopez. There's been some lot of rumors about Brooke
I don't believe
potentially
any of
getting
them.
traded.
I think he'll be back. I don't believe any of them.
It's gonna just run it back and hope. That's what you're thinking.
Well, they could have run it back last year. It took the exactly opposite approach, and then the same thing happened. And they're gonna. I think they're going to run it back. I don't know the dynamics. A lot of this has to do with the luxury tax and how expensive it is. Given the luxury tax that they're going to have to pay, I think if Edens, who's in charge, if he could do what he wanted, he would sell the team.
Well, he can sell the team. Old boy Lazary sold his portion. Somebody would buy Eden's portion of the team.
I don't think he wants to sell his portion. I think he wants to.
Well, you just said he wants to sell the team.
Well, but he can't sell the whole team by himself. I don't think he has the ability to make that decision on his own.
No, he can sell his. He can sell his chunk and make the same big return that Lazary did.
He could. I think his premise is that it doesn't make any sense. The teams are worth so much, and to pay this luxury tax and what they've changed. But that's why I think they keep everybody. I have to do a better study of it, but I think the top 4 guys will all be back, and they'll give it a run with Doc. I believe they've also hired their next coach, or when Doc finishes after this year, probably, or maybe 2 years.
And Darvin Ham, bringing him back after his experience with the Lakers.
Yep.
All right, Homer, we'll let you get ready for God Talk. You can run back and up and down the stairs and then catch your breath before you start recording.
I'm okay now. Yeah, show some respect for old.
No doubt about it, and we appreciate your effort to get to the phone so we can talk to you. I will talk to you later. Thanks.
Ask me about Tyler Kolek, whether he's going to be drafted tonight.
Is Tyler Kolek going to be drafted tonight?
Yeah, because it's just first round. Oso will not. But any team that takes Oso will talk about what a great decision it was. I would say midway through his rookie year.
So Kolek goes tonight, though, in the first round.
Yes, definitely, 1,000%. I will put my reputation, whatever's left, on the line.
That's not much.
I know, that's fine. That's okay. Whatever it is.
All right, Homer, thanks.
Bye.
That is Steve the Homer True. I'm really curious to see where Tyler Kolek goes. And you're hearing, these are rumors that you're hearing, Tausch, being our NBA insider, that Brook Lopez may be on the block?
There's teams that are super interested. You hear Doc Rivers not really wanting to do the drop defense. That is what Brook Lopez is super good at.
Uh-huh.
A lot of the math adds up, and I think he wants to change some of the pieces around Giannis and Dame. And everybody said, well, trade Connaughton for so-and-so. Well, yeah, okay. Good luck. You have to put some pieces in that people are, like, clamoring for in order to get it. Just like, well, you shouldn't have traded Drew Holiday to get Dalla Dame. Well, yeah, okay. Great point. That's not how the world works. So Brook Lopez, I think, still has a ton of value to a lot of teams, and there's a lot of interest there. I'll be curious. I don't know what the Bucks are going to do, but I'm guessing if they're going to make an overhaul or change things up, Brook Lopez will be a piece to whatever they end up doing.
Well, I sources close to Wilde and Tausch indicated that there were trade talks from Johnson & Sons Paving after your debut on their team, and we turned them down. They've got some great talent over there, but we wanted to keep our franchise player and have him just do a little side work with Johnson & Sons Paving.
Well, summer is here, and before you know it, you're going to be prepping for winter. Johnson & Sons Paving wants to make sure you're ready by remembering the 3 R's of parking lot and asphalt maintenance. Reseal every 2 to 3 years. Repair when you see signs of cracking or potholes. And replace if there's constant standing water, warping, buckling, or sinking. Don't scare your customers or your tenants with a bad parking lot. Go down to Muskego and check out that great parking lot I wasn't able to get to because our tournament got canceled, but connect with Johnson & Sons today to fix those minor repairs before they become huge headaches. Visit johnsonsonspaving.com right now to schedule an appointment.
More of Tausch's insights into the trade market as the NBA draft arrives tonight. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Rust has it. Let's it go.
It's Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Ortman. I would love to see you Friday, 4 p.m. at the Gruber Law Offices Sports Zone. Catch me and other former Badgers, Kirk Penny and Brevin Pritzel.
But the fans love it.
Competing in the Alumni Charity Challenge. Taking on other local college legends.
There's Benny. From the corner, it is free.
Stop by the KBN broadcast and say hi. And make sure from 4 to 6 you go to the Gruber Law Office Sports Zone for the Alumni Charity Challenge.
Many people with unique homes reach out to Pella because our team of experts can customize windows and doors that match architecture from any era.
I love that I have a home that is 100 years old. It's a historic district, and we didn't want to ruin the look by having modern windows in an older home. When I found out that Pella had an architecturally accurate product line, they simply guided us and helped us to make a great decision for our home.
Order today and get 0% interest for up to 36 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Certain restrictions apply at 6/30/2024.
Make plans to attend the Bud Pavilion's free concert series Wednesday Night Live. Gates open at 6 with music from Almighty Vinyl starting at 7. Epic bands, unforgettable nights. It's Wednesday Night Live at the Bud Pavilion at State Fair Park this Wednesday with Almighty Vinyl.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Injuries happen, but you don't have to play in pain or stay on the sidelines. Whether it's your kids dealing with a sports injury, college athletes, or the rest of us weekend warriors, the experts at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin will quickly diagnose your problem, lay out a treatment plan that works for you, and get you back in the game. They fixed my knee. My mother-in-law is back on the dance floor with a new hip. These are the experts you can trust. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
Homer here to tell you about Rawhide Youth Services. Co-founded in 1965 by Bart and Cherry Starr, Rawhide is a faith-based nonprofit that helps thousands of youth every year, many right here in Milwaukee, overcome trauma, suicidal thoughts, and live better lives. For youth who are hurting, who feel lost or abandoned, and families feeling powerless to help them, Rawhide is there to help. They also need vehicle donations to support their mission of helping hurting youth transform their future. Donate to Rawhide Youth Services. Visit rawhide.org/donate.
Golfers, listen up. It's Gabe Neitzel from On the Tee, and we are heading to Scotland with our friends at Wisconsin Golf Trips. That's right, Scotland. You can join myself and Stephen Watson as we head overseas to play some of the best courses in the world. This package includes green fees, lodging, transportation, and more. But there are only a limited amount of spots available, so sign up now. For information on the trip and a link for paying, you can text GOLF right now to the ESP Milwaukee Talk and Text line at 800-990-3776. That's GOLF to 800-990-3776.
Finally, warmer weather, green grass, birds chirping. Don't spend your weekend surrounded by all that junk. Get your free, no obligation, same-day estimate from Two Men and a Junk Truck. You'll restore your sanity and reclaim your space when Two Men and a Junk Truck pulls in your driveway. Visit twomenandajuncktruck.com for your free, no obligation estimate today.
Keep what you love, ditch what you don't.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
I assume you knew all this before being the NBA expert that you are.
Okay.
But there are, in addition to paying the luxury tax, if the Bucks end up in the second apron, which is where they're projected to be if they keep Brook Lopez, there are a bunch of restrictions that I was reading about during the break that make it hard to do stuff. So you have no access to the taxpayer mid-level exception. So you can't sign a player for more than the minimum if you're looking to add to the roster. You can't sign any of the players that take buyouts. You're out of that market as well. You can't aggregate salaries in trades. So you can't take two $20 million players and trade them to a team to get a $40 million player back.
Okay, that's interesting.
You can't give away cash in trades. You can't sign and trade your own players in exchange for other players. So you can't do sign and trade deals if you're in the.
So just wait a second. So this is all if they're in the second apron.
Correct.
So Brook Lopez is going to get traded.
I think your insights are going to prove on the nose because they need to shed salary.
There's no doubt that I think they want to say thank you, Pat Connaughton, for your service. You've been great in the community, but I think that's going to be one. Bobby Portis will be the one I'm not sure about. If they get rid of Brook and trade him for draft picks, or I think that'll be tough. That with Giannis and Dame, it's really difficult to just bring some young players in and think they're going to help you win a championship. Maybe that's the road John Horst is going to go down, but it's going to be. If all of those things are in play, I don't think the Bucks want to limit themselves by being in that position. Those are some critical things that you want to have at your disposal to build as injuries happen and other things. And I do think I don't know how long you're going to continue in that luxury tax world when you're getting knocked out in the first round. All of those things, plus you're getting old. And the NBA, while LeBron is 40 and he's still playing at a high level, it's still going to be a younger person's game. I don't care how many advancements they've made in different things. You can't make it with a ton of 37, 38-year-old dudes that athletically just aren't up to par with what some of these other teams are doing.
This Yahoo Sports story that I was reading, league personnel told Yahoo Sports the Bucks are open to reshaping their roster and are gauging the trade value for Lopez. Houston cautioned Lopez that re-signing with Milwaukee could very well lead him to eventually being traded when the Rockets pursued Lopez in free agency a year ago. So one of the Rockets' selling points was to not re-sign with the Bucks because he was probably going to get traded if he did.
Well, the Rockets are making a big push to get Kevin Durant. And if they do that, I think Brook Lopez will be another match with them. They're trading pieces, that whole big thing with the
draft
Nets
picks
last night. Watch what Houston does. Windy put up the old today. When he does that, typically things come to fruition. So don't be shocked if Kevin Durant's a Houston Rocket by the end of the day.
All right, we'll shift gears back to Packers and football during the 11 o'clock hour. I want to remind you, I tell you this all the time. I don't tell you when I'm gone because I've been gone for a week. But when I'm here, I've always told you, I hope you never have to make that one call. That's all. Hope you never have to make it because that means you've never been injured or someone you love has never been injured in a serious accident. But if you have to make that call, make it to Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666, or go to the website, gruber-law.com, to find out more. The 11 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America. The best place in Elkhart Lake is America's National Park of Speed. Make the most out of your summer at Road America. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Up next is the Trans Am Speed Tour at Road America on June 28th through the 30th. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com.
Landworks is the locally owned landscape company to elevate the look of your home or business. Landworks is different because of customer service. From the crew to the salesperson to the admin team, you're in good hands with Landworks. Their sales and design teams are made up of horticulturists, licensed landscape architects, and passionate plant people. Their landscape architects and horticulture team members are also project managers. This means you'll have a single point of contact from initial design through completion of work. See their amazing work for yourself at landworkswisconsin.com.
an unsuspecting driver at a Milwaukee barbershop.
I got an apprentice here shadowing me. I'm gonna put this hot towel on, man. About a good 3 minutes, all right?
The apprentice is Donald Driver.
So when you come here, you drive?
Yes.
Your car got seatbelts?
Yeah.
You wear them?
No.
Okay, but why not?
I don't want to.
But do you know you can get a ticket for that? I'm gonna give you a ticket. Bet you wish you buckle up now. Oh my God.
Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Take it, click it. There we go. Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways. Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. You hear me talk all the time about Bank 5-9 and their mission to make lives better. That mission extends beyond their customers and communities to their employees. Bank 5-9 was just honored again by Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 15 years in a row. They were named the #1 mid-sized employer in the region and earned special recognition for the company's overall direction. Want to learn more about working with my friends at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Included during this portion of the program, trivia. Did you guys do trivia without any incidents? We got just one round of trivia today?
Yeah, I think we handled trivia pretty well.
I did not write a single question over the last 10 days. I feel fully recharged and ready to go for being at the forefront of trivia once again here.
Well, we'll be the judge of that. We've also got Whoa Nelly, who handled Whoa Nelly while you were in the big chair?
Again?
Oh, we had some good woes. Like, the woes were good.
We had
Whoa Gravy and then Whoa Riley yesterday. Riley knows, Riley's good at the woes. He's a good woer.
Okay. I feel like as long as we don't have him doing trivia about UFC, and I mean his storytelling about his love letters definitely next level.
So we had Hunter Vaughn, Alex Gravatt, and Riley Yauk stepped in as producers while you were gone. And I think, like Tausch said, I think each of them had their own strengths and memorable moments that they were able to share with us over their time. So it was a nice balance among the three of them, I'd say.
All right. Well, Jesse's back in his comfort zone, and he will handle Wonelli a little bit later. But while I was gone, you guys had Greg Cosell on, who I really enjoy, and I'm slightly disappointed that I missed out on having been on the show when he was on, because he's really smart, really insightful. But I get to hear a few of the things that he said while he was on with you as we play. Jesse, do you have music for this, or did you just think this was catchy? Apparently, we're going to play Buy or Cosell. That's clever. That's actually pretty clever.
I hadn't even thought about putting any special. This is how out of practice I am back here. I just wanted to play two clips in particular for you and get your reactions to them, because I thought they were particularly compelling.
The first clip in Buy or Co-Sell without any sort of music is this.
After I watched Jordan Love, not his last year in college, but his next to last year, because his last year they changed coaching staffs. He was clearly an uncomfortable player. But after his second to last year in college, I said that this guy had really high-level traits. And, he got the chance to start last year, and it really started to show up. And like I said, he's a top 3 or 4 quarterback in the league just in terms of physical traits.
What does that caveat at the end mean?
Which one?
He's a top 3 or 4 quarterback in the league just in terms of physical traits. What is that?
Arm strength?
No, I understand what physical traits. No.
Oh, I didn't know. I know you've been gone for a while. I didn't realize I had to start defining every little word.
Good calves.
Yeah, no. I understand physical traits, strong arm, athleticism. Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, did you get any sun? We were worried. Somehow calves came up now that Jesse just brought that up.
What do you mean somehow?
And you always rave
said,
about how great.
He's a big calf guy. I wonder how his calves are doing.
I don't know where that narrative came from. I've got catcher's calves. I don't have I got big,
anyways,
ugly calves.
Are they Casper-esque?
So I did walk the campus of beautiful UW-Oshkosh multiple days because I didn't want to sit in the gym and hover the entire time that Sydney was on the court. So it was like being in college again. Like, you remember, well, you drove a scooter, right? You were a big scooter guy.
Yeah, mopeder.
I was yes, a mopeder. I was a walker at the University of Wisconsin. So I walked the campus and I walked to the bookstore and I went to lunch and it was so I was out in the sun a lot. So I got a little sunburn.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say that I tanned. I certainly did not lay out on the quad in my Speedo to get some sun. So no, I don't think I'm any more
Nobody brought anything about a Speedo up, just for the record. No, and I mean nobody brought that up.
Why did you
I don't know
bring
why
it up?
you went there.
What I think
Did you see someone in a Speedo on the campus laying out?
When I think of sun tanning, and I've told her this before, so I feel no guilt for sharing this, but when I was a student at the University of Wisconsin and the UW volleyball team had won its first Big Ten title my freshman year, and two of their best players, Susan Wolford and Liz Tortorello, lived in our building, and they would lay out and suntan in our front yard. And I would say that was not good for the academic success of many people that lived in the buildings. And Liz knew this, and I don't think that deterred them at all. And so when I think of people sun tanning, I think of people that don't look like me. And so I went for a joke of being in a Speedo in the front yard of the quad. I don't recommend that, no, and I don't plan on doing that on any campus or in the privacy of my own backyard. Now, if we could move on.
Whoa, Nelly!
Buyer Cosell is a wild segment.
I don't know what in the world, what road we just went down. You went from me like, I don't want any visualization to tell me more, and now I don't even know where the hell to go. Like, I'm picturing you
can I get back
as
to my
a sophomore in college, sitting out with a big old jug of lemonade on a porch swing, looking out at a couple of volleyball girls tanning. That's what I envisioned you doing.
Yeah, is that a better? Well, I would just say this: much better visual than the previous one that you had. Fair?
Well, I don't know. I never even thought of having anything like that. I was
but then
wondering
I said it.
if your big old calves got any sun, and next thing you know, you're taking me through a whirlwind of different visualization.
Well, this all started with you defining physical traits for me, which was not what I was looking for. What do you?
Your question. Oh, yeah, that was a long time ago.
It's great to be back. So I understand.
Or Cosell.
I understand the sexiest game we play. I understand what physical traits are. For him to say he's one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks in terms of physical traits feels to me like a caveat of saying, well, he's physically talented. We'll see what he actually does as a quarterback. Like that, physical traits are not reading defenses, decision-making, all those types of things. I was just a little surprised that he attached that caveat to what he said about being one of the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks.
Well, I think anytime you're not a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, there's always either you can't do some of the things outside of the physical gifts, or you have the physical gifts and you can't do it. So it's one or the other typically. That's, if you're a top 3 pick, it's all you got the goods. Caleb Williams, he's everything. He can read defenses. He's quick with decisions, and he's got all of the physical attributes. So I think with Jordan Love, a lot of times people are thinking, well, maybe he's gifted, but he's raw, and maybe he doesn't process things the way you'd want. And I think what Greg was saying in that is he's a really good quarterback. He played well. We still have a lot to learn about what he's got, but what we saw, this isn't some not to say Brock Purdy, but this isn't some young guy that nobody really was thinking about, that is a good processor, that had a great coach that schemes people open, because there's a lot of people that look at Brock Purdy that way.
You included.
They don't look at Jordan Love that way. They look at Jordan Love as, when you say top 3 or 4 physically gifted quarterbacks, you're putting him in the Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen category. And when you put that along with all of the success that he had in the second half of the season, I think that's why I'm buying the co-sell and not selling it.
So I buy it too. Now my question to follow up is this. What aspect of Jordan Love's game does concern you if you are having to pick one? You can't just say, well, none of them concern me because he's so star-spangled awesome. So if it's not the physical traits, is there anything that could be his, I don't call it a downfall, but his take a step back fall that he might have in his game?
I still, I was always worried with Jordan got here about that completion percentage.
Mm-hmm.
That's always going to be, and that's, there's a myriad of things that go into it. It's your footwork, it's your decision making, and understand it's your protection. Are the wide receivers running the right routes? You have all of those other things that play into that. But his completion percentage at practice wasn't great. The beginning of his time last year wasn't great. It was hovering in the high 50s, low
57.
60s.
Yep.
Can't win doing that. So we loved that he got it up, and I think there were some games he just had 80%, which is dynamite. If he can live in that high 60s, low 70s completion percentage, and then still showcase that he can get out of the pocket and do the things that we've seen and we really liked, there aren't any. But that's always going to be until he's 3-4 years in as a starter and he's shown, I'm going to be a 68, 70% completion percentage guy. That will always be how is this going to be? That would be my, let's see where Jordan's at, because that stat, I think, tells a lot about not just you as a quarterback, but it tells you your decision-making, ball placement, and how you're all married up to the offense, because you can't win in the NFL throwing it at a high 50s clip. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, and if I had to pick one, I would say that if his decision-making is... if that takes a step back, that leads to a step back in his performance. And again, we thought that he had gone so far that we were all shocked that he threw that ball at the end of the 49ers game. So I don't know if, is he, once you have success, does he start to do some of the things that Aaron Rodgers did? Making throws that maybe he wouldn't normally do because he knows he believes he can make them.
Hero ball.
Yeah, I don't see that in him. But if we're searching for little nits to pick, that throw late over the middle into triple coverage while running, and it being on first down where you don't need to be a hero. That was a pretty big mistake, and I think Jordan has acknowledged that. All right, one more from the buy or co-sell audio vault.
Can't wait to see where this one takes us.
The word Speedo will not be uttered again. I can guarantee you that.
This is about the wide receiver one debate that's been ongoing throughout this offseason.
I thought as the year progressed, Reed and Wicks were the guys that stood out to me. Now, Reed, it may not be a number one in a strict sense. Obviously, he's more of a slot, but they used him as a motion receiver as the year progressed. He was the most targeted third down receiver, so clearly they felt that he had tremendous value there. And I thought Wicks, again, you start getting into what's a number one. There's different kinds of number ones. And there's only 4 or 5 guys in the league that are truly, in a sense, transcendent number ones. So where do other guys fit? Then you start getting into that question. So Wicks is certainly not that guy. But I remember watching Wicks his next to last year in college at Virginia, because the last year the whole offense fell apart in college. And I thought Wicks was a big-time prospect based on his second to last year in college. And then obviously it didn't work the last year. But, he's a big body. Can he be the boundary X? They used Dobbs mostly in that role last year as the single receiver to the short side of the field. I don't know. Maybe Wicks might be the better guy for that as he continues to develop.
You'll get no argument on either of his points from me. I assume he didn't get any argument from you, although you're the Christian Watson guy.
I'm a Christian Watson guy, but you can be Jaden Reed is going to be their number one wideout. I believe that when it comes to where are we going when we need it, not explosive play. The Romeo Dobbs component of this, again, I think we've undersold him. Mm-hmm. I'll be fascinated to see where he lands in this little wide receiver carousel, because there's going to be some jockeying now. There's going to be some jockeying this year trying to figure that out. Dontavian Wicks is a big question mark. Cosell loves him. And one of the reasons I love having Greg on is there ain't anybody that he's a no-nonsense. He wouldn't even give a hot take. I can't get him to give a hot take.
Right. That's not
He's
his
not
thing.
about that life.
Mm-hmm.
He's about watching hours. I mean, he's kind of a film sicko when it comes down to it. It's the middle of June, and he's like, I just broke down 300 snaps at Jordan Love last week. Oh, well, it sounds like you and Greg would vacation together well. That's the deal. But his knowledge and how he operates, he sees things, and he sees the trends, and I think we all saw that Jaden Reed was the guy when it came to third down. That's where Jordan looked. Jordan spends his offseason, spends a lot of time with Romeo Dobbs. It's just going to be really fun, and that's why I've spent so much oxygen talking about the wide receiver corps, because I think it's going to be the most fascinating thing to see unfold. Mm-hmm. The storylines can go 100 different ways. I don't know how it's going to shake out. It's not Devontae and then who's going to be his number two. We don't even know who the one is, and there's 3 or 4 guys that are potential candidates to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fact that Greg Cosell thought that these two players jumped off the screen, and then I saw Ocho Cinco basically telling all you blankers, you better know Jaden Reed's name. You better know. Because he views Jaden. Now, I don't know if he's got a relationship. I didn't research that, so take that for what it's worth. But Ocho Cinco is looking at this saying Jaden Reed's a dog. And I think that's something we've all acknowledged. His versatility is something that I think is going to be huge moving forward with Jordan Love.
Greg Cosell and I will not be vacationing together, I don't anticipate, although we might walk the beach. No, I'm not even going to go there. So we need to play trivia. Jesse, it is Wednesday. It is Wisconsin Geography Wednesday. Which caller would you like?
Let's do caller number 4.
Caller number 4.
Because I'm getting back to being used to answering the phones. I don't want to do too many.
You don't want to do more than 4.
Been a while, you know.
All right, caller 4, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 4 for trivia coming up next. Tausch, tell us again about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, if you have an older home and you need new windows, well, the way we did things a century ago, it's a little different than today. Give Pella a call to get it all right. Their team of experts can customize windows and doors that will match architecture from any era. It doesn't matter what kind of home you live in. Just order today from Pella, and you get 0 interest for up to 36 months. Certain restrictions do apply. This offer ends at the end of the month, which, by the way, I don't know how, but June is almost over.
Yeah.
Visit PellaWI.com today to get going.
Caller 4 for trivia, 844-770-3776. We will play next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Hey, it's Alex Strofe. One of my favorite days of the year is coming up quick. This Saturday, it's State of the Packers from 1 to 4 p.m. right here on ESPN Milwaukee.
I've seen enough with Jordan Love. Get the deal done and pay what it takes.
Join Jason Wilde, Gabe Neitzel, and myself live from Summerfest as we do a positional breakdown of each position group and give you an outlook on the upcoming season ahead of training camp.
I think Love is about to become special.
That's State of the Packers from 1 to 4 p.m. this Saturday right here on 94.5 ESPN.
Many people with unique homes reach out to Pella because our team of experts can customize windows and doors that match architecture from any era.
I love that I have a home that is 100 years old. It's a historic district, and we didn't want to ruin the look by having modern windows in an older home. When I found out that Pella had an architecturally accurate product line, they simply guided us and helped us to make a great decision for our home.
Order today and get 0% interest for up to 36 months at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Certain restrictions apply at 6/30/2024.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher, and summer is here. But if you want your parking lots and asphalt to be ready for winter, you have to remember the 3 R's from Johnson & Sons Paving. Reseal every 2 to 3 years. Repair when you see signs of cracking or potholes. And replace if there's constant standing water, buckling, or sinking. Don't scare customers or tenants away because of a bad parking lot. Connect with Johnson & Sons today before minor repairs end up being huge headaches. Schedule an appointment at johnsonsonspaving.com.
Each day, there's a sliver of time when you can almost breathe freely, and you feel better when you can. But you know that eventually that sliver of time closes, along with your nose. It puts a damper on your day every day. So you pop a pill or you take a spray to try to get that relief back. But it's always short-lived. And all the while, in your efforts to give yourself relief, you may be making your nasal breathing problems worse. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and a simple in-office procedure from Advent called balloon sinuplasty could be the fast and convenient answer to your breathing triangle problems. Advent has been a leader in this procedure, which can be hard to find elsewhere. It's simple, there's little to no downtime, and it really can be life-changing.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
For the ultimate sports betting experience, get in the game at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Unleash your inner champion with dozens of betting kiosks, a VIP deck, high-end bar, first-class restaurant, broadcast booth, a 2,000-square-foot video wall, and more. It's a sports fan's paradise, 24/7. Bet above the rest. Only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Visit the website for more. Must be 21 years old. All bets must be made on site.
Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Check out the newest Lady Jane's in Oak Creek on Howell Ave, just south of Puce Road. Just walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Ask for me, Haley. I will make you look and feel great. Take advantage of a grand opening special. Haircuts are just $20. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Oak Creek on Howell Ave, just south of Puce Road. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The big gig is back. Summerfest is going on till July 6th, and ESPN Milwaukee will be there. Kyle, Brust, and Nortman and the Homer Hour are live from Summerfest every Thursday and Friday at the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone. Stop by and say hi to your favorite 94.5 ESPN hosts and play games for prizes. It's ESPN Milwaukee at Summerfest. This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Give me one reason to steer, and I'll turn right back around.
Time now for trivia. Now, Jesse, what's the trivia about our trivia contestant?
So Dwayne in Stoughton is today's trivia contestant. Dwayne was a first-time contestant 3 weeks ago, and he has now gone from being a first-time contestant to one of our most frequent contestants, having played 3 straight weeks.
3 straight weeks! Well, let's welcome him in. Dwayne, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. Doing awesome.
You're on quite the roll. How have you, I guess I don't keep track, I don't keep the statistics. If this has turned 3 in 3 weeks, how did the first 2 weeks go?
I had 4 for 4 and 3 for 4.
In terms of entries. All right, well, let's see if you can do 3 or 4 entries again today without really Tausch helping, but Tausch playing along. Wisconsin geography. I'm sorry?
I'll be chipping in.
Like this? Oh, I think this is right. If you're on the video screen, you get some big.
There you go. All right. Well, Dwayne, here's question 1. Jesse's Tier 3 friend Jake is traveling from Muskego to Sun Prairie for his bachelor party with the money he collected from a baseball tournament. Which direction is Jake primarily traveling? Is he traveling west, south, or not close enough for Jesse to stop by?
I'm going to go with west.
1 for 1. 1 for 1.
Oh, I would have been wrong. I would have been wrong on that one.
What?
From Muskego to Sun Prairie south?
I've made this trip a ton. I would have been wrong. Yeah, I was wrong.
And he made that trip without stopping. All right, question 2, Dwayne, is
You
this.
sure that you go west from Sun Prairie to Muskego?
No, you're going Muskego to Sun Prairie.
Oh, okay. I misheard. I thought it was Sun Prairie to Muskego. Okay.
I mean,
Details.
it'd be east then. It's still not like
My
you're
bad.
going way
My bad,
south.
Dwayne. I'm glad Dwayne wasn't on the video.
You're not going from, like, I don't know, Crivets to Milwaukee.
Hey, Jesse, I was wrong. Hey, my bad. My bad.
All right, Dwayne, question 2, on which you may or may not want Tausch's help, given the way question 1 went, is this. Goats on the roof of Al Johnson's Swedish restaurant can be observed in which of these Wisconsin cities? Is it New Glarus, Sister Bay, or Minocqua?
I'm going to go with Sister Bay.
You should.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Up in Door County. Yes, sir. 2 for 2. All right, Dwayne, question 3. Latitudinally, which of these Wisconsin cities is located farthest south? Farthest south. And it's not Sun Prairie. Is it Crandon, Crivets, or Carlsville? Farthest south, Crandon, Crivets, Carlsville.
I'm going to go with Carlsville. I have no idea where that one is.
Yeah, I'm going along with you on that.
I got no idea where Carlsville is either.
It's actually not that far from Al Johnson's Swedish restaurant in Door County.
Wow. Carlsville. Crivets and Crandon are up there. Yeah. Hey, Dwayne, the fact that you're playing a third week in a row means you have not...
Dwayne a win.
Yeah, it means you have not yet won the prize pack, correct?
We're working on it.
Well, you certainly are. Working as hard as Jesse did all last week. All right, you got all 4 entries into Friday's drawing. We wish you luck, Dwayne. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a good day, gentlemen.
That's impressive. Carlsville. Learn something new every day. Crandon is definitely not the farthest one south of those 3. Tausch, I'm guessing that no matter you're driving to New Glarus, Sister Bay, Minocqua, Crandon, Crivets, Carlsville, whatever it may be, you're probably passing an exit that has a Quick Trip off of it.
I would bet you do, and in the summer, there's nothing quite like a stop at Quick Trip. And while I'm on the road, you get an ice cold, refreshing drink like an ice cold Coca-Cola. This summer, just got a whole lot cooler with Quick Trip and Coca-Cola. You can play the Coca-Cola Summer Cash Grab Pull Tab game daily this summer in your Quick Rewards app. Enter into the weekly winner drawing where Quick Trip is giving away a total of $500,000. 10 weekly winners get $25K each, and one final week winner gets $250,000. $500,000 given away just for playing the Coca-Cola Summer Cash Grab Pull Tab game on the Quick Rewards app. You can even earn extra chances to win by using your Quick Rewards every time you purchase Coke, Monster Energy, Powerade, Body Armor, Smart Water, or Core Power Elite products. Download the app, the Quick Rewards app today. See quicktrip.com/sweepstakes for full details.
Whoa Nelly with Jesse back in charge of Whoa Nelly and not the entire show. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouthwatering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
Derek Jeter for American Family Insurance.
Life's better when you're under the American Family Insurance roof because they'll help protect your family's dreams. Whether it's a kid like me aiming for the big leagues, future rocket scientist, we have liftoff, or a budding prima ballerina, you can count on an American Family Insurance agent to help you dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
The Island Resort and Casino is the Midwest's premier resort destination, giving guests the total experience with a luxury hotel, full-service spa, live lounge and headline entertainment, multiple dining options, and more, all surrounding a lively Vegas-style casino. And atop many a golfer's bucket list are the island's 2 championship courses, Sweetgrass and Sage Run. When we say your total experience, we mean it. Plan your getaway today at islandresortandcasino.com.
The Bucks in 6 podcast presents a special series commemorating the Bucks championship run in 2021. From the thrilling Game 7 overtime victory against the Nets,
Durant shooting, got it at the buzzer. No, it's a 2-pointer.
to the 50-point statement made by Giannis in the finals.
A 50-point game. That's the stuff of legend.
Immerse yourself in the sounds of each playoff round with Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
What are we doing today?
One of the employee owners has an idea.
Who is it?
Casey Goodson.
Well, hi, you must be Casey Goodson.
That's me. Casey has been with Kessler's for 22 years and became an owner 12 years ago.
We're excited to hear your idea, Casey.
I call it the One Collection.
But we've had special collections in the past.
What are you saying?
Casey, I think Rick is saying that this can't be the one collection because we've offered special collections in the past.
I'm not saying it's the first collection. It's a special collection of engagement rings for the woman that you know is the one. The one for you. The one forever. What's in it? Incredibly special rings for incredibly special women.
How much?
Most of them are between $725 and $2,800. I like it.
I like it.
Me too.
When you have found the one, you'll find her ring waiting patiently for you to come and pick it up at Kessler's.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Tired of power outages disrupting your life? Make them a thing of the past by getting a Generac home standby generator from Adams Generators. Adams Generators is the largest and #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. With 24/7 emergency support, our factory-trained technicians are standing by to assist you. Visit adamspower.com/generators to make sure your power always stays on. That's adamspower.com/generators.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Play, play, play in the
Returning to where he belongs, his producer's seats. Time now for Won't Ellie.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
I've received my fair share of questionable texts, work-related, from you guys and others before. Is that a fair introduction to what I'm about to do here? Did you hear?
I don't know where you're going.
I don't. Was it a text from me? Did it have Speedo in it?
Not that I know of. Pat Murphy, manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, who is quickly becoming one of the most loved people in Wisconsin sports history, I do believe, shared last night before the Brewers' 3-1 win over the Texas Rangers what he texted new Brewers pitcher Dallas Keuchel, who was acquired in a trade from the Seattle Mariners earlier in the day. Here is the text, read by Pat Murphy, that he sent Dallas Keuchel.
Pat Murphy here. I'm the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers baseball team, the team that you were just acquired by. I'm honored and excited to welcome you to our ball club. Please call me at your earliest convenience. I'd like to speak to you about your work schedule, subsequent contribution or lack thereof to our baseball team. Kindest regards.
It's a 70.
It's just to get them started, you know what I mean? Just
subsequent contribution or lack thereof to our baseball team. Dallas Keuchel, who has not had a great go of it as of late in the major leagues. He was signed to a minor league deal with the Mariners, last pitch in the majors, I believe, in 2022. Bounced around with a few different teams since after winning the Cy Young back in 2016. What do you make of the text Pat Murphy sent Dallas Keuchel? Tausch?
Well, I love the fact that he shared it. It's fun, man. You have to continue to remind yourself. And it's a fine line that people in authoritative positions have to play with. Is you got to be serious. It's obviously a lot on the line, but it's still fun. And you better be able to have a little fun at your own expense and at others. So I love it. I think there should be more of this type of stuff, and especially in a long season like baseball, so I think it's fun.
It sounds to me like a text that you might send to Hunter or Riley or Alex Gravatt for when their cousin's subbing for you as the producer. I look forward to your contributions or lack thereof to Wilde and Tausch when I'm in as Wilde's replacement.
It's actually pretty good, yeah.
Whoa, Nelly!
The NBA draft, aforementioned, is tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN and ABC. Coverage starts at 6, right after the Homer Hour or Rutledge and Hamilton, depending on where you're listening to us right now on ESPN Wisconsin. They have divided round 1 and 2 to different days for the first time. So round 1 is tonight, then they take a break. Round 2 is at 3 in the afternoon tomorrow. If you're going to divide the NBA draft into 2 different days with Bronny James potentially being drafted in round 2,
what are they doing?
Why is it at 3 in the afternoon tomorrow? What's up with that, Tausch?
It has to be something obviously financial related. I would venture to say if it wasn't Bronny James going to be drafted, this ain't happening. The second round, they don't get guaranteed contracts. Nikola Jokic was drafted by the Denver Nuggets in the second round. They didn't even go through the whole pick. They went to a Taco Bell commercial as Jokic was getting drafted. So that tells you a lot about how that's all viewed. I think they've seen what the NFL has been able to have with splitting things up and having great success doing it the way they've done it financially. And they thought, let us get in on this action.
Yeah.
So I'm sure ESPN and ABC probably said, let's split this into 2 nights. Why you would do Thursday night, which is a better TV night than Wednesday, I think. But I don't know. Usually whenever I ask a question why someone's doing something, I always come back to the same answer. It's for money, and that's, I'm sure, what this is the case too.
All right. I don't know the answer either. I would say that you want to be like the NFL, then do it Thursday, Friday in prime time. And you can point out that there have been all these different players that have been second-round picks that became important/terrific players in your league to keep TV interest. 3 o'clock makes no sense whatsoever. I do want to point out that I'm reading the ESPN mock draft. And do you know who ESPN has the Bucks taking at number 23?
Zach Edey.
No, but he's going 17th to the Lakers. I thought he wasn't draftable. What has changed with him suddenly? Because during the college season, there was nothing but trashing him and his chances of being an NBA player. The Bucks projected to take Kyle Filipowski from Duke. Boy, I hope this is wrong.
Oh, my God. Storm the court.
Is he the guy that faked the injury after the storm?
Yes.
Oh, God.
The good news is, had he not done that, I would have had no clue what team he was on. So, good for Kyle.
Well, you would have known once the tournament started, and he is... I hope that turns out to be incorrect, because he is a cheap Christian Laettner knockoff and not nearly as good of a player.
I hope they've done their homework on his injury status.
That is wow.
You better hope they don't draft him.
That's the most flaming take I've ever heard you say.
I said that in March when he was doing his whining on the court too. Hey, Christian Laettner is a friend of the program. He was great when he was on years ago. I actually came around, and I like Christian Laettner now. Maybe I'll come around on Kyle Filipowski if he's a Buck. Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly! Dominated another 6 games of pickleball last night, Tausch. I'm up for any challenge you want.
All right, whoa, stop. I have not caught up on Wisconsin On Demand or the ESPN Milwaukee or ESPN Madison YouTube channels. When did you become a pickleball player, and what is this trash talking that is now occurring regarding your pickleball exploits?
It's just another example of my superior athleticism on display. I'm good at racket sports. And Tausch wants to change his Twitter bio because his Twitter bio says racket sports enthusiast, and I said I'm great at I'm great at badminton. I'm great at ping pong. Tennis, I'm probably a little questionable, but I've discovered that I'm very good at pickleball. We play pretty much every Tuesday night. It's just 4 of us that go, me and Becca and her 2 friends, and I just dominate the entire situation. And I'm looking around at the other courts, and I'm looking at I'm like, I could take all these people here right now. I'm good at it. I want to be Tausch's sub for his league and see how I compare to some of the big dogs.
I want you to be Tausch's teammates and see what happens.
All right, here's what I'm going to do, Jesse. Here's what I'm going to do. No, I'm not going to do that. I will get our level 1 group that plays, and I will say I'll put you with the best player, and we'll see how you come back. I'll organize this. I'll talk to either Chad or Dave or Danny, and I'll say, all right, there's a young whippersnapper, thinks he's the real deal. And I'll see what happens. I would venture to say, now, if you lose, there's a hat you have to wear if you get skunked. And I would venture to say you'll be skunked.
Wait, what? There's a hat?
Yeah, if you get skunked, there's a little hat. Yeah, it's a hat of shame.
Is level
great idea?
Level 1, is that like the Premier League?
Jesse, here's
or
the
is
deal.
That like the Wrexham
You're going to have
League?
to get up, just like with Jimmy Polzine came and did the thing. You got to get up and do it in the morning. I just got a text from another level 1 guy. Tracy said, let me know when you need it. I'm in for the match.
Yeah.
So these guys are, if you really think you're that good, that's great. I'm excited for you. I think it'll be a little different than you hammering it at one of Becca's friends' face, who's never played pickleball before, where you're playing against somebody else, but I could be wrong.
The sport hasn't even been around that long. It's not like they got years on me. Well, they actually do have years on me, I guess, but not decades. Like, it's not like this thing's been around since the 60s, man. It's like 5 years this thing's been around.
If I may, how would you, and do so accurately while also remembering that you live with Becca and you don't want to be criticizing her pickleball acumen on the radio, but how would you rate the quality of opponents that you faced, and did you think about the possibility that perhaps you were benefiting from a lesser level of competition before you started talking trash to our resident racket sport enthusiast and his other people that he plays with on a regular basis?
You know when you're watching a number one ranked team in the country in Ohio State, even when they play Akron in week 1. You know when you see it.
So, and you're not Akron on this?
No, I am not Akron. No. No.
You're Ohio State.
Who are you then?
I would be Ohio State in the analogy, Tausch.
So then, who would these guys that I would be setting you up to play with, who would they be if you're Ohio
The Patriots.
State?
You're going to have to tell me. Bama?
No, I don't have to tell you. I didn't make the proclamation. So, no, I don't have to tell you. This will be interesting. We got to see if Maddie... We'll have to see if Maddie's available
Social
to document
media,
this.
Digi only.
I'll make sure the boys are... we only need to get 3 guys, right? The only thing is, I don't know who I'm going to put with you. That's the tricky part of this whole deal. We'll figure it out.
Well, whoever gets put with him will be much better off because, as he has pointed out, he is the Ohio State of pickleball.
Preseason number 1.
Okay. Jesse,
Jesse, if you make a wager and you get beat, you need a little extra spending cash, we'll send you over to Fortria, and you'll be able to get that cash to pay your bets if you want to go to Brazil, whatever it might be. Fortria has you covered, and I'll tell you, some of these new studies that are coming out, there's some big-time money to be made. Healthy men, age 18 to 55, BMI of 19 to 32. The study involves one stay of 51 all the way up to 101 nights with one follow-up call, and you can make between, depending on how many days you stay, $19,273 all the way to $32,973 for your time and participation. Head to FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's Fortrea, Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com.
We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance.
Rust has it. Lets it go.
It's Ben Bruss from Kyle Bruss and Ortman. I would love to see you Friday, 4 p.m. at the Gruber Law Offices Sports Zone. Catch me and other former Badgers, Kirk Penny and Brevin Pritzel.
Where'd that come from? I don't know, but the fans love it.
Competing in the Alumni Charity Challenge, taking on other local college legends.
There's Penny. From the corner, it is 3.
Stop by the KBN broadcast and say hi, and make sure from 4 to 6 you go to the Gruber Law Offices Sports Zone for the Alumni Charity Challenge.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman here for Carbless, my go-to drink this summer. Handcrafted right here in Wisconsin, Carbless is a ready-to-drink vodka and tequila cocktail. Perfect for hanging out on the patio by the grill, chilling on the lake, or tailgating at the Brewers game. Plus, it's got 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. All summer, make sure you're following Carbless on Instagram at Drink Carbless for your chance to win a Summer Bliss prize package. Find Carbless online and at retailers near you. Carbless. Liss is more.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Dr. Sam Steiner is with me. So someone suffers a sports injury and walks into OAW. What's next?
In some cases, setting them up with a sports therapist through our facility and seeing if they can get back into what they want to do without surgery. And then in other cases, when we see them back, we follow them along. You're not assessing just their injury, you're assessing the patient. You want to understand their expectations, and based on that, that's where you go down a treatment algorithm to get them back into what they want to do.
Is it tough to take into account the human aspect of things and not just focus on the injury?
I think it's very challenging. And like I said, you have to be invested in the people you take care of to understand where they're coming from and what their expectations are. They just can't be a number and look at, say, an MRI and say, well, you have this, then we're going to do this. I think in every single circumstance, you have to take into account everything that you have and assess the patient, understand where they're coming from and what their expectations are.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Ewald Automotive's grand opening sale for the all-new Ewald Volkswagen and Buick GMC was so successful, we decided to extend the celebration. For less than the price to fill up your tank, you can make your car more fuel efficient with our Fuel Economy Improvement Special, just $59. So don't wait till your next fill-up. Schedule your appointment online now. Just go to ewaldauto.com.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And for most all of us, here's the reality. Life happens. But when those moments occur, two words come to mind. Common sense. For nearly 90 years, Great Midwest Bank has made the home buying, building, renovation, and refinancing process straightforward, while too many others overthink and overdo. Our portfolio loans are GMB's not-so-best-kept secret. Apply online at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. If you need a bath or shower remodel, turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get 0% interest for 12 months on your Lugstone shower remodel. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote. With fast, professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
We're already late, but before we go, Jesse, we've been corrected on why the second round of the draft is being held at 3 p.m. tomorrow.
A presidential debate tomorrow night, which was announced well after the NBA's intention to move the draft over 2 nights. So that is part of why they're going to move it up for TV to be before the big debate on Thursday night. Not House of the Dragon related, Tausch.
Keep us updated on the pickleball competition that you're going to be setting up for Jesse. Hopefully by tomorrow we've already got it on the schedule. That's it for us today. It was great to be back. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any?
Sleep apnea is a serious condition. And the worst part about it is, because it affects you while you're sleeping, you don't know what this condition is doing to you.
And it was scary because I found out that I was waking up 145 times an hour. 145 times. I was scared. I wasn't getting the sleep I needed.
And that's the thing. Someone like John wakes up after thinking he's slept all night, and he's been feeling run down for years, and finally finds out something really is wrong. This is why, for us, solving sleep apnea problems is so gratifying, because we really are changing lives.
I've had more energy. I'm getting better sleep. I've been told from my wife I don't snore, but honestly, it changed my life.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. Solving your breathing triangle problems means a better quality of life, and you deserve that.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
A Brewers Group outing is the best way to celebrate any special occasion. You can count on the Brewers to host an event your crew won't forget. Brewers account reps make your day at the ballpark a breeze. Start planning your group outing now at brewers.com/groups.
The big gig is back.
I'm Christine Lisi.
Chauncey. Ahead of tonight's NBA draft, the Knicks acquired one of the best forwards in the league. Mikal Bridges from the Nets, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. Brooklyn gets Bojan Bogdanovic, 5 first-round picks, a first-round pick swap, and second-round selection as well. The Nets also have a deal with Houston to get back first-round picks lost in the 2021 James Harden trade. Brooklyn now has 16 first-round picks through 2031. Draft coverage, 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio, 8 Eastern ABC and ESPN. Yankees ace Garrett Cole expressing disappointment following a rough performance in his second start of the season. 6 runs, a couple of home runs, 4 walks, didn't record a strikeout in 4 innings in last night's loss to the Mets. Argentina megastar Lionel Messi hoping his injury scare in the Copa America win was nothing serious. He received treatment for a right thigh problem, said he'll see how he feels today.
This is Greeny with Mike Greenberg on ESPN Radio. Plus, you can listen and watch on the ESPN app.
What is good, brothers and sisters? It's a Wednesday takeover. You got me, Freddie Coleman, and Harry Douglas, in for our man Mike Greenberg. Thanks for joining us on Greeny, presented by Progressive Insurance on the mighty ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80. Don't forget about us on TuneIn. Always tell your smart speaker to play ESPN Radio. Harry Douglas, man, I'm feeling pretty good. About my New York Knicks making that trade, I'm feeling pretty good.
No, Freddie. That's not how we're going to start the day off, because there is something that is way more important than the New York Knicks today.
We're not talking about the Atlanta Hawks and having the first pick in the draft. We're not doing that.
No.
Just want to make sure we understand
Mr.
each other.
Freddie Coleman and Miss Denise Coleman, it is you guys' 20th anniversary, and I want to make sure I honored y'all the proper way.
Okay.
Flojo, hit the music.
The first thing I'll do is run
Straight to you. It's your anniversary.
Now, not our wedding anniversary. Not the wedding anniversary.
Anniversary is anniversary, Freddie.
Yeah, true, but 20 years of being here at ESPN Radio when it comes to me, Freddie Coleman. They said I wouldn't last 20 seconds. I didn't think I was going to last 2.